What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to this edition of Weights and Dates. I think, Myron, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and call this now season 2 of Weights and... Actually, you know what? This is going to be the last episode of season 1 of Weights and Dates because I'm getting a graphic introduction done. And you've seen... Did you get the look at the introduction?
Yeah, I did. It's pretty sick.
Pretty cool, right? Yeah. So I got to find some music to accompany that, and then that'll be our grand introduction to season 2 of Weights and Dates. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm happy to see you on the air doing your shows. Old school Donovan with the breakdowns and everything like that, and doing the longer shows. It's great, man. And I'm just happy to be here. As you guys know, obviously we do this show typically on Fridays, but today Donovan had some traveling to do, so we're doing it on Saturday. And we talk about fitness, contemporary issues a lot of the times, yep. And we kind of put a red lens on it, so to speak. So, yeah, man, I'm happy to be here again.
Yeah, man. And we were talking about this a little bit off the air. So Womanese Volume 2 dropped on May 31st, and I had a goal that I was trying to hit. And that was for the entire launch. I hit that goal in 6 hours, and then I proceeded to do a lot better than I had even anticipated. And so, you know me, anytime I do well on a course launch or book launch, whatever the case may be, I reinvest in the show. And so I put in $40,000 into Studio B. That whole lease is paid. Everything is bought. I bought $4,000 worth of cameras. I bought a $7,000 computer. I spent thousands of dollars on furniture. I took Devin off of her job, hired her as my producer, flew guys in, put you guys up and everything. And I think that's going to prove to pay big dividends for everybody involved. Well, during all of that, season 1 of One-on-One with Donovan Sharpe, I, of course, I decided to go ahead and shoot Womanese Volume 3 just while I was in the thick of things. So that obviously took me away from my live streams and my daily stuff. Didn't have enough time to shoot all of my lines for Womanese Volume 3. So the day before yesterday, flew up to Detroit, hung out with Terrence Pop and his cameraman Blake, who was the cameraman for Womanese Volume 3. Did a show with Terrence Pop live from the lair. That was all kinds of fun. And the very next day, which was yesterday, went down, spent a couple of hours with Blake in front of the camera, got all of my lines shot and done. And then we flew up out of here. And listen, man, no disrespect to, I guess, Michiganians, but flew into Detroit, went out to Warren, Michigan, the Troy area. Listen, man, I love Blake. I love Terrence. I don't know how these guys can live in Michigan. Dude, listen, man, I swear to God, it was just, and I don't know, man, maybe it's because I wasn't there that long, but dude, it was just depressing. Maybe it was overcast, and it just kind of seemed like it should be overcast all the time. We're driving through Detroit, which, by the way, is, according to the Uber driver that took us from Detroit to Warren, Detroit it appears to be back on the mend, right? They're improving things downtown. They're doing this, they're doing that. They're putting all kinds of money into the city. But even still, like, we're driving through downtown Detroit on the highway. There's abandoned buildings everywhere. It's just dude, honestly, Detroit looks almost dystopian. It's
and Flint, Michigan are consistently in the top 10 for most dangerous cities in the United States almost every year, man. Like, almost every year, Flint's up there in the top 5 somewhere, and then Detroit's always somewhere in the top 10.
Saginaw, Flint. Right. And I remember one of our Uber drivers was taking us from the restaurant where he had dinner with Terrence and Blake, and he said, "Yeah, man," he said, "the only people that really live here are people who were born here, right?" And that's just, listen, again, man, listen, no shade. Listen, man, if you're from Michigan and you're born and raised there, like, no disrespect, man, because I mean, like, you gotta have patriotic pride for your state. Even Clevelanders, the nickname of that city is the Mistake by the Lake. They know, listen, they know Cleveland is a terrible freaking city, but guess what? They're like, you know what? It's a terrible city, but it's our terrible city. Go Browns, go Cavaliers. So they don't have any ill will towards people who say stay the hell away from Cleveland. I can't imagine that people in Michigan don't echo that same sentiment. I'm sure that there are some very lovely people that live in Michigan. Everybody treated us with total kindness and respect. Terrence is a great guy. Blake is as solid as they come. But I could never. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Listen, this is how bad it was. I would sooner live in North Carolina before I live in Michigan, dude. Wow. And I hate North Carolina. But I would live in North Carolina before I live in Michigan. Now, if somebody really wants to twist my head, where would you rather live, Michigan or Atlanta? Hey, listen, gun to my head. Is it Michigan or Atlanta? You want to know what the answer is? No, that's the answer.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Detroit? You ever been to the Michigan area?
No, man. No, I've dated a bunch of girls from there that come here on vacation and stuff like that. And I keep up on like it always intrigues me to like look at the most dangerous cities in the U.S. and it's hilarious how like Flint is always in the top 3 somewhere, along with Camden, New Jersey, and then
Camden is right over the bridge. Like we're in Philly. Camden is right over the bridge, dude. Anytime we go to like Cherry Hill or sometimes you just want to cross the bridge and just, spend a couple of days in New Jersey. It's actually quite nice over there, dude. Because Camden is the gateway to South New Jersey.
Yep.
Drive through there as fast as we drive through there as fast as we can. And dude, those neighborhoods are run down. Dude, we'll take the train. Dude, sometimes we'll take a PATH train. We'll take the SEPTA. Dude, we're in a train over these neighborhoods, and it's just, oh my God, you can't even imagine.
I'll tell you this, because like Michigan is like really, it's like bitterly cold, like the whole Midwest. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you guys a funny story. We'll go down memory lane real quick, and we'll break this Tory Lanez thing down. So, dude, the years
game is second to none, dude. I got
the year is 2010. I'm living in Philadelphia, right? So as you guys know, I used to row in college, and for the guys out there that are from Philly, right? You guys got the Schuylkill River, you got Boathouse Row, and I used to row at a Penn AC, which is a very good boat club there. And me and my buddy, who I was living with at the time, training with him, because we in the summers we would train and then go back in season in the fall when we went back to college. We made a wrong turn. I think it was the Ben Franklin Bridge, man. We accidentally got on the bridge, and we were trying to go to Manayunk. And next thing I know, we're on the bridge. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, I think we're getting there. And then we get off, and like, bro, it's like rundown buildings. This like, I think there was a fire going on the side. There was like, you're in the hood, man, when it's like a chicken spot or like a Chinese fast food spot, and it's like they got like bulletproof everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get out of here. And I was like, bro, what are we doing? And my friend, mind you, he's like, a white dude from the suburbs, you know what I'm saying? When he's driving his little mom's BMW, I'm like, bro, we got to get out of here now. Like, you don't belong here. So we got out of there quick, man. But that's like, because I had known Camden was dangerous, but then I saw the sign that said "Welcome to Camden." I was like, with bullet holes and stuff. I was like, bro, I was like, dude, like, bro, we got to get out of here now. So yeah, it's my little story of Camden, guys. It was terrifying.
Again, no disrespect to Michiganians.
Yeah, no offense, guys.
Listen, no offense, man. No disrespect. I'm just saying, man. I just don't understand how anyone could live there. And you know what's interesting? And I promise we'll get back to it. And I just want to put a bow on this thing. I think there was a study out there, and I'm not really one to really put too much stock in studies or statistics, but I think it's said that 60% of all Americans live within 40 miles of where they were born and raised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like, and I can't even like, dude, I was born in Philadelphia, but I'm not from Philly. Most of my immediate family lives in Philadelphia, or most of my distant families in Philadelphia. This is the longest I've ever lived in Philly. I was born in Philadelphia. In August of 1977, dude. 3 months later, we're off to Georgia, right? We're off to Georgia. Then we moved down to North Carolina. Then we moved to Hawaii. Then we moved to Washington State. Then we moved to New Jersey. Then we moved back to Washington State, back to Hawaii, then Oklahoma, then to North Carolina again. So I just wasn't. I mean, I was not. Like I've always been transient. And even when I became an adult, I've moved around all the time. Dude, I've moved twice since I started this whole Donovan Sharpe thing. I started the Donovan Sharpe thing when I lived in Vegas. Then I moved to Reno. Now I'm here in Philly, and I'm moving to Reno next summer. So I don't know. I think it just takes a certain kind of person to be able to uproot themselves and just move. And a lot of people just think it's just so scary. It's not really that scary, man. Like listen, everybody speaks the same language. Maybe the dialect is a little bit different, but if you're ever thinking about, man, I can't believe I live here, I got to get the hell out of there, dude, do yourself a favor, man. The world is as flat as it's ever been, dude. You can go wherever you want.
Facts, man. Yeah, get out of your hometown, guys. I grew up in Connecticut, but I ain't never going back. I'll tell you guys that right now, man. Like somebody tells me, like, "Oh, I'm never leaving Connecticut." I'm like, bro, oh hell no, I ain't going back, man. So I ain't going back. Yo, shout out to John, Modern Life Dating in the chat, by the way, man. John, we love you, baby. What's up, John?
You the man. Yeah. John is. We've been doing some things. Devin said the airport in Detroit was like everything else. Closed with the gates down. Listen, I'm sure that there are some very, very nice people who live in Detroit. Look, listen, my own grandmother, she lives in West Philadelphia. That's a rough neighborhood. Well, she's lived in the same house for 50-something years. So she was there when it was actually good. So there's stuff going on in the hood. She has the ability to just walk right down the street and nobody bugs her because they know, there's Mama Sharpe. Quit the gangbang and quit the robbing. We're not I guess she's a made woman in that regard. And she says she's never leaving West Philly. 90-something years old. She's never leaving. Listen, I'm not trying to go in there and get her, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. So,
hope you guys enjoyed that. I was saying, I hope the people enjoyed that little, thing, intro on the United States for our foreign guys out there.
Dude, it's like I almost felt like I had to pop a Zoloft when I was out there. I was like, dude, why am I depressed? Why am I having suicidal ideations? Like, what's happening here? Like, I'm a happy guy. Like, what are we doing? Charles Reinhardt, $5, says, I grew up in Hartford and ain't been back since.
He knows, bro.
Sargon 2 says, never going back to Mississippi. That's what I'm saying. By the way, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, beautiful town. I would never live there. Okay. All right. By the way, one thing real quick. Devin says, not one Lions jersey or sign, not even the airport or the sports bars. Right. Like it's almost like they've disowned the Detroit Lions out there. It was kind of weird. Anyway. So tonight we are going to discuss, and this is going to be a relatively short show. It's going to go about an hour or so. We're not going to go all night long because we have other things that we have to be doing, but we are here for the people. And so there's a situation going on. There was a situation going on between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Now, I didn't know who Tory Lanez was before today. If that makes me tone deaf, whatever. Listen, man, all I do is work. I don't even listen to new music. I can't listen to rap music anymore because I can't understand half of it. And I know it makes me sound old and like a curmudgeon, but that's just the reality. However, this story grabbed my attention because this story perpetuates the very notion of why the notion of believe all women hurts and destroys men. Now, for those of you who aren't aware who Megan Thee Stallion is, she was basically the co-star in the video WAP with what's her name? Cardi B.
Yes.
That's not all I know about her. I know she used a couple of guys for a come up, and now she's, I guess, a celebrity / rapper, whatever the case may be. She doesn't really seem to be good for much of anything except for really shaking her booty and talking about the WAP or the wet and gushy to keep it clean for YouTube. And that's about the size of it. So talk to my audience, Myron, because my audience is, I've got some young guys who watch, no question, but there are people out there who don't know who Tory Lanez is. So after you talk about who Tory Lanez is, I will then get into the story. Then we will break down this video.
Yeah, man. So guys, for some of you guys, I can actually share my screen real fast and show you guys, just so you guys can put a face to the name real fast. But Tory Lanez, guys, he's basically a Canadian rapper, very famous. He's like one of these like newer school guys. And quite frankly, here, let me share real fast so you guys can face to the name. Here,
I've actually got him on the screen. I've got him on our little. Yeah.
Oh, Okay. Okay. So yeah, he's a Canadian rapper, guys. This is him right here. He actually lives here in Miami. He lives in the same building we're building our podcast studio in. Hilarious, right?
Okay.
Yeah, he lives here in Miami. He has a spot here. He's here all the time. He's a Canadian, born in Canada. He just released an album recently, guys. This is what I would consider like one of the newer school rappers. Along with Future, Drake, these guys, that kind of like been in the game the past couple of years, have been kind of like, he's basically a household name in the hip hop world. But after this situation happened, a bunch of rappers kind of disowned him, which he's going to talk about in the thing. But he's very famous. One, I would say, like, if you were to top name like A-list type rappers, he's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I would agree. Because I looked at his Q rating and all that other good stuff. I think that I think it's pretty obvious. I guess why he has the following that he does. Before I tell you guys what the situation is here, let me read off some super chats quickly. Josh Jericho, $5 says, "Oh man, hating on Connecticut. Love my hometown Hartford. Listen, I'm sure Hartford's a great area. I've heard it's a dump."
No, it's terrible. I grew up in New Britain, right next door. No, terrible.
Okay, you listen. Just because Hartford's a dump doesn't mean you're a dump, right?
Facts,
I'm saying, like, yeah, and listen, you got to take pride in where you come from. I get it, but you got to keep it real about where you come from. That's how that goes. King Sargon, who's never ever going back to Alabama again, with the $10 super chat, says supporting my guys. And again, guys, we split the super chats right down the middle on every show. So if you support one of us, you support all of us. Cameron, who by the way is kicking everybody's ass in fantasy. I think the dude is like 6-0 in the TSR Fantasy Football League. He is just creaming everybody. He is from Michigan, and he says, my grandmother would never cook Sunday dinner when the Lions lost, and I went a lot of Sundays getting fast food. Listen, the Detroit Lions only claim to fame at this point is that they play every Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. They might actually, they need to get that taken away from them because they're very, very bad. On Eric, $20 says, keep doing great content, guys. All the best. By the way, Devin says, isn't like 70% of Hartford addicted to opioids? Is that true?
Yeah, there's I don't know if it's that high, but there's definitely a drug problem there. It's a very, like, people think Connecticut is all sweet, man. Like, no, like Central Connecticut is actually very dangerous. And Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport, just don't go there, guys. Don't go there. Once you Yale, the Yale campus, I would leave New Haven. Like, I would get out of there. Sorry, go ahead.
Interesting. Durham, North Carolina, used to be a very, very bad area, and now it's all been sort of gentrified. And back in the day, they used to call, now Duke University is in North Carolina, is in Durham. And so if you went to Duke, they wouldn't, it's almost like Duke was like another state. It's almost like another. That's kind of how that goes. Cameron, for the record, says clearing his grandmother's name, says Thanksgiving was the one exception. King Sargon II says Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana off limits. Yes, I made this declaration years ago. I will never, ever live anywhere east of the Mississippi and south of the Mason-Dixon line ever again. West side till I die. I left the West Coast. I've been trying to get back ever since. I will have been here for, I got here in 2017. I've been here for 3 years. I will have been here for 3.5 years when we move to Nevada next year. And I'm staying on the West Coast. The West Coast, listen, man, I'm sure that some people hate the West Coast. I'm sure that there's some people who were born and raised in Reno that says Reno's a dump. I get it. Listen, man, Reno is a fantastic place to live and plant your flag. The West Coast is just for me. That's just how that goes.
Nevada's a good state, man. No state income tax. I'm always down with that.
Dude, outdoor activities for days. It rains like once every 5 years. It's fantastic. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to talk about the situation between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez.
And real quick with Meg Stallion, just to let the guys know, she is another one of these female rappers that adopted what I call the Little Kim strategy, which is talking openly, about promiscuity, et cetera, get the shock value, sell some records. Little Kim did this almost 20 years ago, and then Nicki Minaj followed suit. and then now Cardi B, and then Meg Thee Stallion, along with with their hit song WAP, which we will not say on the air what that stands for, but use your imagination, guys.
Listen, what the kids today don't realize is that, and listen, I'm gonna sound old, but there's nothing new under the sun, guys. Kids, Madonna was Lady Gaga 30 years ago.
Max.
Yep. Everybody, dude, Lady Gaga in the meat suit. No, Madonna was doing that back in the 80s, right? And it's just like you said, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Lil Kim was Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion 20, 25, 30 years ago. Like, this is just how it is. By the way, 305 Ryder, aka Miami J, one of the original TSR OGs. And by the way, Myron, I got to put you in contact with Miami J and Kyle. Because I'm told they literally live in your bathroom and you don't even know it. Like, you guys are.
I didn't know. No.
Yeah, you guys are very, very close. He says you can't count Miami as that part of the South. 100% correct. Listen, when you think about the South, and Florida is just North Florida, you're still in the South. You get down to Tampa on South Miami, it's like another country down there, right? So the whole, listen, Miami, that area, South Florida, is really not a part of Florida. It's sort of a cross between the United States and Cuba. So he is
America.
Yes, South America. Yeah.
People just, it's like, man, if your Uber driver speaks English in Miami, like you're lucky.
Absolutely. And Devin, who is from Fort Lauderdale, that area, says Florida has its own set of problems. Dude, Florida has every set of problems. So I guess this is sort of a combo show. Oh, wow. Chris Von Erich taking it way back with Da Brat. Yo, do you remember? You can't remember Da Brat.
I know. I remember her. She wasn't like super, like, she didn't make she didn't take the Little Kim. Like, I remember Little Kim, like, was the first one to really, like, set F word as a rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Lil Kim she was out there, but she was successful.
I remember, I'll never forget, she had that, I think it was either The Source, one of these hip hop magazines. She did a photo shoot with her legs wide open, and that caused crazy controversy. That was the beginning.
Yep, and it got her paid. DC Johnson says, shout out to Myron Gaines. He's from Meridian, Connecticut. Moved to Charlotte. I may not stay in North Carolina more than 5 years, but I will not move back to Connecticut at all. Next destination, Phoenix, Arizona.
Great city, man. That's like, if you want hot girls, man.
Woo!
Like, dude, I was actually surprised. Like, being in Miami, I'm very picky. Like, now, like, when I go to other places, I'm like, oh, disgusting. Phoenix, I was actually very, like, wow. I was like, the girls here can keep up with these Miami chicks.
Check this out, dude. Before Devin and I flew out to Hawaii, and by the way, Devin and I were supposed to go to Hawaii this week, but the beer bug situation out there is kind of fluid. They're not letting people in restaurants and this and that and the other. We didn't want to get to the island to be quarantined for 2 weeks. So we landed in Phoenix. Before we went to the island, we spent the night, met up with a college buddy of mine. Dude, there were smoke shows everywhere. Yeah. It was unbelievable. So yeah. ASU, absolutely.
Also not that expensive to live there too, man. It's like, for a single guy, I think if you're a single guy and you should be in Phoenix or Miami, one of the two.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so here's what we're talking about. So Canadian rapper, and I'm reading this from CNN. Canadian rapper and singer Tory Lanez was charged with the Thursday projectiling of Megan Thee Stallion. Los Angeles County prosecutor says Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, I did not know they had hood rats up in Canada, is facing one count of assault with an SA very, very hot and fiery arm, and one count of carrying a packed hidden hot arm in a vehicle, the LA County District's Attorney Office said in a statement. Lanez, then 27, was riding in a SUV. Who wrote this? See, hold on. Riding in a SUV. I'm going to try not to show the headline because I want to keep it. There it is. Sarah Moon, CNN.
Of course.
Listen, of course it's a woman, right? In a SUV. Who can tell me what the correct, and listen, yes, I'm going to harp on this. You want to be a high-value man or high-value woman, you have to have a decent command of the English language. Right. It's supposed to be riding in an SUV in Hollywood Hills on January 12th when he got into an argument with a 25-year-old woman, prosecutor said in the statement. He's accused of throwing a projectile very quickly in the direction of her feet several times when she exited the car and wounding her. The statement said, Megan Thee Stallion, whose real name is Megan Jovan Ruth Pete, is identified as Megan P. in the criminal complaint. CNN has reached out to representatives for Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion for comment. In August, the, quote, Savage star, I don't know who Savage is, publicly accused Lanez of projectiling her very quickly in the feet. The July indictment during an Instagram live on her verified account. She also posted a graphic photo of her wound, which she later deleted. It's interesting. She had talked on social media about the super scary shooting and thanked her fans for their support, but initially didn't named the hold up. Who is this again? Sarah. Well, hold on. What's her name?
Sarah something, I think it was.
Moon. Sarah Moon should not be writing for CNN.
And for CNN too, this is like
no, seriously. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
This is that chick is definitely
stupid.
Like, yeah.
Like Sarah, like baby, you got to tighten up. Okay, all right, whatever. She had talked about it. She talked on social media and thanked her fans for their support, but initially didn't name the person. She says very quickly projectiled her. An arraignment for Lanez is scheduled for October 13th. If convicted on both charges, Lanez could face a maximum sentence of 22 years and 8 months in state prison. So, Myron, give me your initial thoughts on the indictment and the implications in terms of maybe his citizenship, because I think he's a dual citizen. What are the implications there?
Yeah, man. I mean, this is just dangerous. I mean, these are very serious allegations. Quite frankly, for those, that might not be living in the United States, these are felonies, which means he's definitely good. That, if convicted, he can spend a lot of time in jail, significant amount of time. He's in California, which has very strict projectile laws, so to speak, guys. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he's a foreign national, guys. So if he's convicted of any of this stuff, he's getting deported. Like, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And they will definitely remove him to make a statement. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that, they're removing other illegal aliens and they're not going to remove a celebrity. They're going to definitely remove him to show a point. You know what I'm saying? So, and he wouldn't be able to come to the United States. And granted, he's a rapper, guys. So a significant amount of his earnings, a lot of these rappers, guys, to break it down for you, they make a lot of their money from touring, from doing shows. That's how they make a majority of their money. Record sales, iTunes, all that stuff. It's like, residual income, but their real money is made from shows, guys. So him not being able to tour in the United States is absolutely going to destroy his pockets, because the market for hip hop music in Canada isn't the same as it is here in the United States. And I know for a fact, he lives here in Miami, right down the street. You can actually see the building behind me. So, wow. He lives here. We might run into him when we're doing our podcast, actually. But yeah, man, these are very serious allegations, guys.
Listen, I don't want to make this racial or open up a can of worms, but he's Canadian, but he's black. So what if you substitute Tory Lanez's name for, I don't know, Justin Bieber? Like Justin Bieber, Robin Thicke? Right? Are any of those guys? I mean, listen, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. All right, let's move on. I don't want to turn this.
He would have got a little bit more wiggle room for sure, man. Being a rapper and African American definitely doesn't help the case. Like, he's definitely going to be considered.
He just went in, look, Myron didn't even say I'm not hopefully. He just went there. Listen, man, you're black and you a rapper. You
ain't getting the benefit of the doubt, baby. Unfortunately.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, there you heard. Racist Myron Gaines gives his take on what he thinks of African American rappers from Canada.
He's gonna hold the L on that one, baby. You know what I'm saying? They heard that news article. They were like, "Nah, put him in jail,
sir." Yeah. No, wait, he's what? Okay, he's black. Yeah, let's go ahead and arrest him.
Guilty.
Red Mike with the $100 super chat. He always super.
Thank you.
He says, I grew up in the liberal dump of South Dallas. I moved away first chance I could. I only moved back to Texas when my mother passed away and my father started to have health issues. When people trash Dallas, I never get offended because I know they are right. That is, and it's interesting. Only men seem to really understand that, right? Dustin Pedroia. Nobody knows who Dustin Pedroia is, but I will tell you who Dustin Pedroia is. Second baseman for the Boston Red Sox, won the MVP back in 2015. Scrappy guy, won a World Series, I think maybe 2 with the Boston Red Sox. I think he's originally from like Bakersfield, California. It might have been Fresno or but he called his city a dump, and his city jumped on him for it. And you know what he told his people? He said, listen, man, don't front like you guys don't know this is true. Ken Rose, $5, says, oh, goodness, Fort Lauderdale got really bad. Homelessness out of control, as bad as Miami now. Even in good cities, even in really, really nice cities, you are going to have a high homeless population. Dude, there are homeless people. As a matter of fact, I think there are probably just as many homeless people in Vegas as there are with people with roofs over their head. You guys want to see, listen, you guys want to see a homelessness epidemic, go to the 702. Yo, you got homeless people all over the place. Like, that's the reason why casinos have security, because these homeless people try to come in there and pretend like they're playing the slots. Anyway. So Tory Lanez has been indicted. And before we get started, do you think these charges are going to stick? He's got money. You know, the details are kind of fuzzy. I don't think he should have been charged in the first place. But what are your spidey senses telling you on the outcome of this?
Well, quite frankly, it's CNN, so we already know.
You are fake news.
So I think he's definitely going to beat it, man. He has the money. He has a legal team to beat it. He just made a statement, as we know, which we'll talk about here in a second. He just came out and made a statement, which under normal pretenses, if you were truly, if they had a case against you, your lawyer would tell you, do not say a word. You're not making no public comments.
Yes.
So,
yes.
A guy like him obviously can afford the best legal team. And if he's making comments like this, the lawyers are pretty much probably already angling to get this thing reduced to some kind of misdemeanor so that he doesn't have to face any real consequences. Because you guys got to understand, as a foreign national, if you're convicted of a felony, ICE is coming. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get deported. Yep. So they're probably going to fight this down to a misdemeanor, and he'll be good. So the fact that he's making a statement like this, it tells me his legal team probably told him, man, you're good. Unless like his legal team is wild, but guys like on his caliber can get the best guys.
Taj Sid on the Sharpe Stream side says, I heard Hawaii has a lot of homeless people. I wouldn't know, because both times I lived there, I was a kid on military bases. I actually know people who live in Hawaii right now. So I don't know. I might reach out. To them. Someone just said something interesting in the chat, and I think this is sort of the underlying situation here. True Gino says, and Megan Thee Stallion is not a credible individual.
Facts.
And you would be right, unless, of course, you are making an accusation against a man. Okay. And that's where the rubber meets the road. Megan Thee Stallion accused this dude of assaulting her with a weapon that projects metal projectiles very, very fast. And they literally just took her word and indicted this dude. Right. So what we're about to do is we are about to watch a video of him finally being able to speak out on this. And we will comment as we go along. Here we go.
Tory Lanez breaks his silence and tells his side of the story in the Megan Thee Stallion incident.
Do I help her, or do I speak up and say, oh, don't talk about her, whatever the case is? But if I do that, then it's like I'm coming off like I'm guilty. And then if I say something about having remorse, like I would like to, or saying something about certain things, it's like I come off like I'm guilty of something that I didn't do. So I had to be quiet on certain places. Now, I need y'all to really take this in and understand like how this works at this point. When all this starts happening, LA Times, okay? This is put.
Yes, Kaudenicus puts it very, very succinctly. Says lead projectile unit. Okay, there we go.
Put in public information. LA Times puts out an article, and in the article they say, this is the initial report. 2 sources close to the investigation said that she got cut by glass, and she said that she got cut by glass.
Okay, let's stop it right there. So two people said she got cut by glass. Megan also said she got cut by glass, but he was still charged with discharging a lead projectile unit at a very high speed at her feet. So I just don't understand why this happened. I mean, I don't get it, dude. I really don't, man. And listen, man, we know white girls can just point the finger and end anybody's life, right? Now we got black women doing the same thing, dude.
Yeah, it's just dangerous. And you know, for the guys that are watching, stick to the end, and we're gonna give you guys like kind of the full reality, we're gonna bring this full circle for you guys, but we're showing you guys this for a reason. But this is just like ridiculous stuff, you know, like I mean, the fact that like let's peel back the layers. The fact that he's making a statement during an open criminal case right now on the air,
yes,
right? And he hasn't made a comment for months, guys, tells you already that his legal team is probably licking at their chops like, yeah, go ahead, man. Discredit this chicks. We got this, man. You ain't, we already worked out a deal with the prosecutor. And let's keep it 1,000. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office does not win a lot of cases, guys. I'll tell you that right now. They take a lot of L's. Yes, so, you know, if it was the feds, that'd be another problem. Tory would have some issues. But the fact that it's LA DA's office, they're pretty confident. He knows he's going to beat this. For him to make a statement openly like this on the air during a criminal case is very telling.
It tells us that it is far more likely than not that he is probably going to be. I don't even think he gets acquitted. I think the charges get dropped. I think so. In the courtroom, to be honest with you. Let's continue.
So then it's like people see that, okay, hold on. They're saying on the initial police report with Officer Santiago, whatever his name is, you can go look this up. This is on LA Times. That's when it gets to this point where it says, okay, they reported no fire wound in her foot. They just reported a woman with a foot injury. So you got to understand, like, this is what's in their initial police report. Fuck all the Instagram, fuck the other shit. This is just what's in the police report.
And oh, by the way, this video was actually edited in such a way that keeps it clean for YouTube. So not only does he use the alternative word for, I guess, super soaker, as somebody said, he doesn't, like, all of the bad words are edited, even the N-word. So now it's on us to keep it clean. Tory Lanez is keeping it clean, right? Tory Lanez. Tricky Trini asks a very, very good question. Says, but what happens to his career? This is a very good question because this is a good question because you remember the Chris Brown Rihanna situation, right? Chris Brown, oh boy, how can I keep this clean? Chris Brown very aggressively touched the face of Rihanna, and Rihanna posted pictures. It was very, very clear that Chris Brown had done bad things to Rihanna. And I even remember thinking at the time it happened, dude, this is it. Like, yeah. Brown is done. Guess what? 6 months later, dude, Chris Brown is out here still making records. And here's the thing. Here's another thing. Got back with Rihanna. And Chris Brown's career is far from over. But it's a different day and time. Right? That was at the dawn of this whole believe all women and guilty. Chris Brown was guilty, Myron. Chris Brown was 100% guilty. Now, let's not pretend that Rihanna was making pancakes in an apron doing her best June Cleaver impersonation when
a lot of stuff came out showing that she started it, man. Like she was doing some, you know what I mean? I'm not going to go into what she exactly did, but there was definitely a lot of stuff going on that she actually started the altercation. But with this Tory Lanez thing, I think he's going to recover. Unfortunately for rappers, getting charged criminally actually enhances your career. It's the few careers where you can actually enhance your career by getting in trouble. And I do want to say this real quick, guys. Don't forget to like this video, guys. Subscribe to Donovan's channel, because this kind of content needs to get out there for young men, older men, etc., so they can learn the climate. So help us get pushed in the algorithm on my YouTube channel, Unplugged Lifestyle. Obviously, subscribe to Donovan and like this video, guys. And we got how many? 800, 900 guys watching the video live, man. Please like the video, guys.
Like the video, guys.
Yeah.
This is a very good comment. I just saw it. Hold on. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm usually up. Here we go. The Neg One says his career will blow up as long as he doesn't apologize for anything. I would strongly agree with that. You also make a very good point. Tory Lanez is a rapper. He is not. If this happens to Garth Brooks, or if this happens to I don't know, a country music singer, maybe Darius Rucker, I don't think it would be very, very hard to get over that, right?
Huge problem.
Tiger Woods cheated on his wife, and he ain't been the same since. Like, the world turned their back on him. But when you're talking about rappers, this is more or less on brand, so to speak.
Yep.
And I think that's, it is what it is. I think that's so anyway, let us continue with the breakdown. Here we go.
So you got to understand, like, I'm getting to a point where I'm like, wow, I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, like, at the end of the day, like, maybe some people might see this, maybe some people might not. It gets to academics, it gets to academics, it gets to Hollywood Unlocked, it gets to certain places, right? And she comes out with this tweet that says, keep talking and I'm gonna stop sparing you.
Uh-oh.
It's like, my love, I have not been on the internet for 3 months. And then 30 minutes later, she just goes on live. And it's like me telling you, yo, keep talking, my nigga, and I'm gonna slap you. And then I just slap you. It's like, you didn't do anything for me to slap you. I just slapped you. So it's like,
not that he's speaking from personal experience or anything.
Who was talking to? Who are you saying to keep talking to? I don't understand. Whatever. It gets past this point.
Just saying.
It gets past this point, and it gets to a place where now she says, I'm gonna stop sparing you, whatever the case. She gets on live. Now, because it got on.
And Myra, listen, if you want me to stop the video, if you want to make a point, just tell me to stop the video.
Oh yeah. No, this is great. You guys keep listening. Oh, well, quick thing, since you haven't stopped anyway. Another thing about Tory Lanez, guys, he's huge on Instagram. Like, he does a lot of Instagram lives, and he'll pull in like hundreds of thousands of live viewers, and he'll do like a show with other rappers, whatever it may be. So that's what he's talking about when he's like, oh, she's gonna go on live. She's basically using a platform that he uses all the time to make a statement about him, which is like kind of, you know what I'm saying, like pseudo talking smack, because Tory Lanez is kind of like one of the most poppin' rappers on Instagram.
Tricky Trini says, I'm mad we have to play YouTube charades in 2020. Actually, I'm not. I think it's actually, listen, I used to be mad too, but I think it's quite fun to be creative with the way we talk about things. Yeah. If not for YouTube's strict algorithms, we wouldn't have terms like monkey double backflips from Adams, right? Like, that's freaking hilarious. What else has he said? 49ers, buzzer beaters. I, of course, made up banana gobblers, eggplant enthusiasts for women who prefer eggplants to bananas and things of that nature. So, yeah, listen, I think it adds a little bit of flair to it. And what's great is that people aren't stupid. When people, and I like sort of extending that. Tory Lanez was accused of hurling using an instrument to hurl a metal projectile in the direction of Megan Thee Stallion's feet at a very high rate of speed. Yeah. Like, I think it's fun to do that stuff. Not at first, but it kind of makes it fun. So I understand what you're saying there. Taj Sid on the Sharpe stream side says that's why people largely don't have a problem with Chris Brown. Only the Karens remember what happened and still talk about it. Good point. Very good point.
Yeah. And a lot of people know the truth that like Rihanna instigated that, man. Like, real talk. If you look at all the stuff, like you could read the criminal documents, like the complaint, and it was like she 1000% started it, man. So yeah, I'm not saying he should have done that, but women got to understand that not all guys are gonna just take it. You know what I'm saying? It's an unfortunate reality. So like some guys will actually retaliate. So.
Okay, new game. So Clue just put in, says, I say 91 Divock. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Because of 91 Divock, we are now under quarantine, right? So, new game. Any YouTube buzzword that would get me kicked off YouTube, I need to see. I want suggestions. And listen, I'll use these suggestions in the language. We need to come up with a glossary, so to speak, of words that would normally get you kicked off YouTube or get you banned or get you slid down in the algorithm. I need them used in such a way that keeps it relevant, because I'm looking at the video now, as of right now. Oh, man, they finally gave me the yellow dollar sign. So what I'm going to do, no problem, I'm going to request a review while I'm here on YouTube. And who knows, maybe by the end of the video, it will be monetized. probably won't be until tomorrow morning. Myron and I think, have a 3-video monetization streak because we're very, very good at keeping things very, very friendly. So 91 DVOC so far.
That's hilarious.
Clubhouse. That is absolutely effing hilarious. Okay, let's continue.
Like the video, guys, please help us in the algorithm. Like the video.
Academics that there was no fire wound on the initial report.
And shout out to this guy for editing all of the words out. This is great.
Everyone starts going to her page. Again, she starts reacting to certain things. Now, I'm going to say one thing. I'm not getting mad at her or whatever it is because...
Tory, fam. Now, and again, listen, man, Tory has to play the game, right?
Facts, yep.
Listen, even though he's probably going to be found not guilty in a court of law, he wants to be found not guilty in the court of public opinion.
Facts.
Now he has to come on and say, I'm not mad at Megan Thee Stallion for lying to the cops and getting me accused of slinging a projectile at a very high speed made of lead at her feet multiple times, getting me indicted and possibly deported. No, I'm not mad at all. He has to say that. Do you think he's doing this on purpose, or is this really how he feels?
He has an excellent publicist, man. Like they've probably strategized this for a few months, because for the guys out there that are listening, this is the first time he's spoken about this for months, guys. This incident occurred back in the summertime, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so he's probably been strategizing this with his legal team, his publicist, etc. And they're like, listen, Tory, we're probably gonna get this stricken out. You're gonna get, maybe a slap on the wrist, some kind of disorderly, and you need to get ahead of this right now and make it look like you're not mad at her, that you don't have any issues with the opposite gender, etc., and make a video about it. And that's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's telling his side, and this was probably a perfectly orchestrated publicist move between him and his legal team. So I'm not surprised. He probably sees he's going to take the W, and now he wants to get the female audience as well, because quite frankly, I can tell you guys this right now, man, a lot of women listen to rap, man. As a matter of fact, if I see a girl and she listens to Pop Smoke or Tory Lanez, I already know
she belongs to the streets.
So he wants to definitely get that audience back, man, because a large portion of rap music consumers are actually women. You know what I mean? So this is a good business move.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a few more nominations here. The Neg One says he showered her feet with Super Soaker studs. I like it. True Chino says sling the lead equals projectile. He slung lead at her feet. So instead of saying that, you say he slung lead at her feet. I love it. Here's another one. Clue says disagreeable intercourse is the R word. I would actually go with something a little less soft, a little more soft than that. I would go with like disagreeable intimacy, right? Disagreeable intimacy is the R word. King Sargon says instead of the gorilla tree thing, call it the Tarzan swing. I like that because YouTube is now aware of the Crimson Capsule vernacular. So when they hear things like what King Sargon said, I think we kind of have to keep moving things over. I like that a lot. Let me read a couple of super chats here. Clue with the $5 super chat says thanks, DS, of course. Me giving
guys for the support. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Rashad Jones, $5 says, I've been taking a lot of smoke from black women, simps, and betas for exercising common sense and waiting for the facts. I live in Houston, by the way. Listen, that's just how that is. Right, like that's just how this is. By the way, I think you said that. This is a better one. The Neg One, disagreeable entanglement is the R word. I like that. Yes, he entangled her disagreeably. I like that. That's very, very good. Dude, the YouTube algorithm is gonna be like, whatever. It's fine. Whatever. It's
green $sign.
Yeah, it's probably German green $sign. Here we go. I like it. Keep them coming. All right, let us continue. I
understand that she is dealing with a lot. Like when it comes down to, you gotta understand, she lost both of her parents, and I do sympathize with that.
See, here's the problem, right? And we know Tory Lanez doesn't mean any of this, but what he is doing is he is trying to convince us that the reason he isn't upset with Megan Thee Stallion for getting him indicted on these serious charges is because she's going through a lot. She lost both of her parents and this and that and the other. Do you think Do you think Megan Thee Stallion thought about what you had gone through when she made that accusation? See, this is the problem with men, right? And this is actually not a problem with men. Women take advantage of a man's natural protective instinct over women. It is in our biological hard drive to want to protect women. And a lot of soon-to-be ex-husbands fall into this trap. Well, okay, so she slept with with a personal trainer and had a, let me see, and had a multi-person thumping with a bunch of guys at work at the Christmas party. But listen, she's been through a lot. She was abused as a child. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and let her have the house and kids, right? Yeah. But she doesn't think about the fact that he grew up in the Catholic Church and was messed with as a kid by his religious leader. She doesn't think about that stuff when she's doing him wrong. So guys, if you haven't heard anything we've said tonight, you need to understand this. Women don't care about what you've been through, no matter how much you care about what they've been through. Okay. Listen, there's some women out here that have gone through some terrible things, but men have too, right? And when men try to say, well, the reason she did this is XYZ, let me go easy on her, women never, ever do that with men. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. We talked about this earlier today with on Rule Zero. Shout out to Rolo. And you know, basically me and him spoke about how a lot of guys have this thing where I was talking about how chivalry is dead and that guys need to adopt a little bit more of a expendable mentality when it comes to dealing with the opposite gender, because women do that when they're dating. And I simply put, men believe when they date women, they got to do what's right. And women, on the other hand, do what's right for them. This is why they flake on you. This is why they don't show up on dates. This is why they don't text you back, etc. It's that women treat men as expendable commodities. It's just that they don't overtly say it. They just display it, which is actually more important when they display it, guys. So I always tell guys, you need to date like women do. And what I mean by that is you need to get out there and date a lot of chicks. You need to also flake. You need to also not respond. You need to basically give them a dose of their own medicine so that they're actually going to respect you. Because the thing is that if you're a guy and you flake on a chick or you like leave her on scene or whatever, it's actually very unique because most guys don't do that to women. So she's already going to know, wow, this guy has other options. And thus what happens? Attraction goes up, because as we always discuss, unfortunately, guys, one of the biggest attraction triggers for women is pre-selection. So you need a cosign. And one of the most honest cosigns of you having other women, besides having a beautiful one next to you, is not taking them serious and or making them expendable, flaking on them, etc. And that actually increases your own SMV, because women are usually the ones that reserve the right to decline men. So when a man does it, there's no higher demonstration of value than turning down women and kicking them to the curb and giving them a dose of their own medicine. So guys, you need to stop with being a nice guy and the chivalry, because it's going to set you up to fail and you will get exploited, like just right now what you're seeing in front of you. You know what I mean?
Listen, if you display chivalry on any level, you will be punished. But then if you display toxic masculinity, it's interesting how you don't. King Life, $10 says she wanted him to sling the meat, but he slang the lead. You actually mentioned to me off the air that he was smashing one of her friends.
Yeah.
That might have something to do with it.
Yes, and I want to give credit to our man Solo TV 84, guys. I'm gonna do this because no one ever gives Solo TV 84 credit, man. He talked about this on his stuff, guys. Go sub to his channel. He's a member of the 7 panel. He actually found out through sources that Tory was, getting with one of Meg's friends, guys. So I got to give Solo credit on that one. Shout out to him. Go sub to. But yeah, guys, this also plays into it as well. So now you guys see there's also a love triangle involved here.
There you go. And that is usually the genesis for stuff like this. Let's continue.
I lost my mother. And when I lost my mother, I realized when you lose a parent, you could be highly susceptible to people around you that are giving you parental guidance or things that feel like parental guidance, to believing that it is parental guidance and you go with it. That's happened to me. I've been at that place where I've listened to a lot of people that led me down the wrong road because it felt like parental guidance that I should have been getting from my mother or my father that at that time wasn't around, or whatever the case is. So now it gets to this point now, whatever the case is, boom, she comes out and she goes, listen, you guys and you know all this extra, just keep talking about me, and I'm over here watching this like, yo, what did I say? I didn't say nothing. I said nothing to you, but it's nothing. This keep talking about me, bro. And so you know what? Now we just gonna do it. This Tory shot me, bro. This shot me. He shot me. She gets into it. She gets into it. She gets into it. She gets into it. This shot me.
You see how mad he is now, right?
Yep. He can't hide it. He can't hide it. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his best to put his best face forward to make it look like, you know, this isn't like a man's woman anger type thing, but he can't hide it, man. Like, this woman is literally coming for his career's neck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Breaking down the story, and I want y'all to pay close attention to how she breaks down the story. Okay? Really pay close attention. She breaks down the story and she says, yo, I'm arguing. I'm in the car. I'm arguing with this. I'm tired of arguing with this. We get into a heated argument. I'm tired of arguing with this guy. Get out the car. This get out the car, and he starts shooting me. For no reason, he starts shooting me.
See that?
So boom, then the cops pull us over and da-da-da-da. Hold on, let's take the first facts back to what she just said. So you mean to tell me that you're in a car with a person and this person is arguing with you? This person has gotten you to a place of like, yo, I don't even want to be around you. Like, I'm above this. I'm out of here. You get out of the car because the heated argument is so heated. And then this person gets out and shoots you in both of your feet. And you jump back in the car?
See? So what he is doing here is he is playing to the common sense of the general public. He literally just broke it down.
Why would you jump?
Oh, wait, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, like, yeah, guys, like this right here is like where he kind of pretty much, and this is a guy that's like, you know, he's using common sense, you know what I mean, for the public, for the general public, and like anyone with a logical mind would be like, well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, if she was in danger, oh, she get back in the court now. Blah, blah, blah. So it's like, you know, it's hilarious that he's breaking it down like this, and this is why I'm sure his legal team is so confident, because they've already done this months ago. They've already destroyed this story months ago. So they're like, all right, cool, we'll talk about it, you know. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
We have another nomination here. So Clue says sword fighter equals a switch hitter. Says that's an old school term. I actually one-upped him. I said, let's go with sword swallower.
There you go.
I think sword swallower is probably a more apt comparison. Let's continue.
Back in the car with a dangerous man who just did a dangerous crime to you, who did this criminal intent to you, and all this. Why would you jump back in the car?
Because she's lying, Tory.
Facts.
Well, yo, then the police pull us over, and I see, you know what I'm saying, we're all black in the car, there's a in the car, so I don't even want to be like,
over 1,000 people watching. Let's hit the light, guys.
you know what I'm saying, I don't want nobody to get in more trouble, and I'm trying to protect this man. Because at the end of the day, it's getting shot here. She then throws the black card at me. I'm trying to protect this black man. My love, nobody ever reported that you got shot but you. So how are you trying to protect me?
Right.
At what point were you trying to protect me?
Woo! Bro,
he's not mad at Megan Thee Stallion.
Dude, right? Seriously, he just like whole bunch of logic right there coming in. And this is why guys, I really want to stress this out. He is talking about an open case that's going on in California that has some of the strictest lead projectile laws in the United States, and he's a foreign national as a celebrity. There is so much at stake here, guys, and he's talking about this before the case is adjudicated. This tells me that his legal team has already dissected and destroyed her side of the story, because I want to say this real quick. I mean, for anybody here that lives in the West, in a common law country, you guys know with common law, a lot of the time, a crime is committed, right? And then there's a statement taken from witnesses, defendants, etc., right? And a lot of the time when there is a crime, witness testimony is critical. And one of the things that's most critical to witness testimony are two things. Number one, credibility, and then a consistent story, right? That has some kind of, that has a logical output. So what he's telling you guys now is a watered down version of what his lawyers have probably already figured out months ago, which allows him to be able to come on camera like this and talk about an open case, which normally you would never do. Like if we went back 20 years ago, OJ was not saying a word during the middle.
OJ wasn't saying shit. OJ was tight. Yo, you couldn't listen. Even after, how can I put this? Even after, before he was even charged, you couldn't get a word out of OJ, man. They told him, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
And we always end up talking about OJ somehow. But yeah, guys, like this right here is like that little tidbit right there. If you guys listen close, he just broke it down pretty much. And I'm sure there's more inconsistent facts in the case that has him this confident to be talking on on open camera about this. But yeah, that's my little thing on it.
Okay, very good. Red Pill Mike, $5, says, I lost my mother and I cannot relate to anything he said about looking for anyone to fill that role and being naive toward bad advice, excuses. Listen, man, I agree with that somewhat, but what Tory just said is correct. When you lose your parents, you are looking for something or someone to fill that void, depending upon what was left. If, let's say, you were raised by a strong father and he dies when you're 20 years old, well, at that point, you have just about everything you need from your father, so you're not really going to look to fill that void. I think Tory Lanez probably didn't have a solid family structure, right? So that's probably what causes people. And dude, listen, every situation is different. So while I agree with Red Pill Mike, I think we have to understand that we don't know what his family situation was like. Listen, we know what Megan Thee Stallion's situation was like, and it's showing loud and clear with her actions. Let's continue.
At what point? Like, you know, I got a child, you know that these type of situations, even an accusation, is something that I can't even be playing with. I don't even play with my life like that. So why would that, like, that to me just doesn't make sense. Okay, cool. Yo, I lied to the cops, I lied to the doctors. Let me tell you why they saying there's glass in my feet though. Because I lied to the cops, I lied to the doctors, I lied to this, that, and the third. Ladies and gentlemen, I need us to really understand what she's saying here. You mean to tell me that these medical doctors that are in an ambulance that work on-site injuries 24/7 for all day, that have to know every type of on-site injury, the specifications on the type of on-site injuries, so they can treat it right? You mean to tell me you lied to these people and they just treated you for glass when you had a in you?
There it is.
If that's what you're saying, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say they were dumb. You mean to tell me that the cops who were called for in a Suburban or whatever the car was, found that same Suburban and found a in it, see you leaking and didn't check you for wounds? I'll give you the benefit of doubt and say they were dumb. You then further said, yo, I'm at Cottonmouth like smoking.
See, this is where he starts to get a little bit emotional and kind of go off the rails here. Hold on. Let me wet my whistle here. The Neg One says OJ is lucky that social media was not a thing back then. He would have been in prison and still be there to this day. Real talk. Not only that, and it's interesting, social media makes it impossible not to contaminate a potential jury pool. Like, has anyone ever stopped to think about that? Anytime there's a high profile case, you want it tried where the potential jury pool is not going to be tainted. That is impossible because of social media.
Yeah, very true, man.
Okay, let us continue.
You then say, oh, well, I was trying to protect this black man, so I never said nothing. I didn't want them to me. I didn't want them to me. Okay, but when me and Kelsey and Vaughn were over there being questioned, you were in a stretcher. No one is going to put you in a stretcher. You had plenty of time to tell the cops that you were in danger.
There it is.
You had plenty of time. I'm not protecting somebody who just heinously me after a conversation that we just had. My mind is not on protecting you. I'm bleeding from my feet. I'm thinking about protecting my own life and I'm in danger. Why would you not say that with 2 feet bleeding from 2 holes? From what you're saying?
There it is.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
I didn't want to get him in trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm protecting this man and he keeps talking. And so now, you know, he keeps getting his media team to start doing certain things to make me look incredible and to smear me. and to make him look good and to make it look like I'm not. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, have I been around in the last 3 months saying anything? Have you seen in the last 3 months one article that made me look good during this? One? Have you seen it?
See that?
You haven't seen it nowhere.
See, now what he's talking
Planning
about.
this. He's been planning this, baby.
Yeah. So now, and this has obviously been planned for quite a while, right?
Yep.
And again, you can tell he's feeling some type of way, but what he's about to get into now is the power of public opinion, okay?
Yep.
It's interesting when we get false accusations, and at the end of the show, I'm going to tell you guys the story about how I was falsely accused of, oh boy, we'll call it domestic Duracell. We'll call it domestic Duracell, right? And how recording the conversation between me and the girl that accused me of domestic Duracell literally meant the difference between my freedom and me going to jail. So stick around for the end of that.
Because at the end of the day, my PR team is not out here playing with my jeopardy of my life and freedom. I'm not doing this for the internet. This is my life. I'm the only person with the case. So at the end of the day, when you sit here, y'all, like, I'm not gonna jeopardize my son, even if I know, regardless of what I know, it will come to light in the issue with that. I have no issue with that. But I need y'all to understand, like, I'm a human being, bro. Like, this hurts, bro. Seeing my friends, people that I had on radio, be people that were just like my real, like, at least people I thought were my friends, like people I thought were like cool people, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, everybody just shunned me. I showed everybody love at the top of the year. Everybody was on radio, hee ha ha ha. And the second y'all have an accusation, not even evidence, just come bash me.
There it is. Listen, what Tory Lanez is experiencing. Listen, welcome to the real world, Mr. Lanez. Welcome to the real world. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity. It doesn't matter if you have money. And it's interesting. In the era of pound sign also me, right?
Yep. I like that. Also,
also me. It's never really touched African Americans, right? I'm sure there are some black men who've been pound signed also me, right? But I think, especially rappers like this, you know, the way they move, the way they deal with the way they deal with girls. Like, if Selena Powell were to try to hashtag also me somebody, they look at her and laugh. Be like, chick, you're a thought. Like, there is no also me. So Tory Lanez is now figuring out, holy moly, a black woman has falsely accused me of slinging lead at her feet, and they believed it. This is why he's in shock. He heard about it from everybody else. Now it's happening to him. Welcome to the real world, Mr. Lanez. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. And let's not forget, I want to add this too, Donovan. With Selena, she made allegations about also me about Trey Songz, that he has a violent, tendency when he's involved in some actions with the opposite gender. So him and she made her and her friend made allegations to him. So I say this to say this, guy. I say all this to say this, guys, and we're gonna bring this full circle at the end. But we live in a believe all female society. If you live in the West, typically, so you just got to understand this is what's going on, and you just got to protect yourself, man. You got to be smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying be scared, because some of you guys can use that excuse. I ain't cold approaching. I ain't cold approaching. No. You need to learn social calibration. If anything, this is why you need to learn game even more. So you can see the signs like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this one. You know what I'm saying? So you need social calibration, guys. So yeah, that's my take on it for now, I guess.
Kenny Arnold with a submission says # me as well. I like that because it's funny when I say # into my phone, it doesn't show the #. But when I say hashtag into my phone, it says the #. It's absolutely incredible. I love it.
I'm somebody who just, I don't get a say, then I understand. Sometimes the way I move is unconventional, and I came to a place where I was dealing with so much just talk and heat and just people coming at me that I made music. Because I was like, this is how I can speak through what I gotta do. This is how we get so mad about artists making songs about the same thing, money, chains, and cars. So when a comes out and says his true passion, puts his true heart, his emotions, the pain that he's dealing with his baby mother, his child, when it goes and does that and pours his emotion to the tape, or what, he wrong? I'm wrong, I get shunned off. They took me off of every single playlist. They took me off of every playlist. They didn't want my story to come out.
See that?
They didn't allow my story to come out because it came off insensitive. I came off insensitive to people. Now I want to speak on this. I don't ever want anybody to ever think that I've been insensitive to Breonna Taylor. I marched 9 days straight in Miami for her and George Floyd. I would never, bro, I've mourned this woman as well. And everyone said, listen, we're mourning a black woman today. And you dropped an album? How dare the disrespect? Guys, let's bring this back. That day that I dropped that album, my mom, that was her birthday. And that was also the day she. So I was also mourning a black woman, my mother.
So again, he's still playing to the crowd here. And now this isn't to say that he's being disingenuous, but anytime you talk about Breonna Taylor, any of those hot button issues, you gotta, you have to be careful. So he wants to put the facts out there, but he also wants to toe that line. The Neg One says LeBron James is next on the chopping block after he's done sword swallowing these politics.
I disagree.
I don't know. I think, listen, LeBron is untouchable at this point.
Yeah. He's his publicist is a god, man. Like,
yeah,
because you guys got to understand, man. LeBron, he's not the highest IQ individual, man. He just has a great marketing team behind him, man. So, these shirts that he wears, he's like political stances, all that stuff. He has a team telling him what to say, what to do, everything like that, man. He's a high, he went to the NBA straight out of high school. The guy isn't really that educated. You could tell when he speaks, he's not really that he's not that well versed. So he has a great team behind him, coaching him what to say and everything like that. He has a great team. So another thing too, I want to say with Tory Lanez, guys, you guys might have not caught this, but he was talking about how people kind of change their tune and they stop talking to him, whatever. Guys, what he's talking about is Rick Ross. So
that's that I know about, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the people out there that might not know, Rick Ross, another Miami rapper out here, lost a lot of weight. Came up with, yeah, exactly, boss. You know what I'm saying? That guy. He made a video talking smack about Tory, trying to clown him, put it making small little cars, making fun of him, all this other stuff. And they used to be cool. And basically what Rick Ross did was he did what a typical caping, right? For a chick that he doesn't even really, he took Meg's side, quite frankly, and he just immediately disowned Tory and all this other stuff. And Tory's kind of seeing this from the other side, that people are turning on him. The people that used to love him, because like I said, guys, used to be, this guy's an A-list rapper. He's not like a bum. You know what I'm saying? He's rubbing elbows with Future and Drake and all these guys. So he's an A-list rapper. So for Rick Ross to say something like that, to support Megan Thee Stallion, Rick Ross is a simp, quite frankly. You know what I mean? And I've never really liked Rick Ross anyway. He's a fraud he's a corrections officer trying to purport himself to be a powder dealer, but but it is what it is. But Tory is that's what he's talking about, guys. For you guys wondering, what is he talking about? People turn. Rick Ross is a big one.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Somebody said in the chat earlier, said that you find out who your real friends are when you go through a situation.
Facts
like this. Looks like somebody. King Life says Rick put back on that weight. Okay, all right. The Neg One says Myron Donovan. I'll give you props on that LeBron comment, but I'll give him 5 more years. Or one huge franchise purchase, whichever comes first.
Okay, I see his opinion.
Listen, that I might co-sign with.
Yeah.
And listen, nobody's untouchable, right? And I understand the rationale that the Neg One is coming from. The more you cape up, and it's funny. The only people who are getting # also Mead are the people who are these staunch male girl power movement activists, right? The guys who are on the front lines with the brawless activists. These are the ones who get accused first, right? The misogynists, the guys who display toxic masculinity. For some reason, there's no # also me, right? There's none of that against them. So I think that I agree. I think I partially agree with the Neg One. It's gonna be a while, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Clue says talcum sales. I like that. Very, very good. RBR. with the $10 super chat says, my mom passed away in 2002, but gave me the power to see people for who they are. Now, RBR, if I'm not mistaken, is the acronym for Real Brother Radio. That is the acronym for Real Brother Radio. Now, Myron, you don't know who Real Brother Radio is.
No.
But listen, I will spare you. I'll spare you any pain. Real Brother Radio is absolute garbage. He is absolute garbage. This guy, I'm looking at his channel right now. He has 1,900 subscribers. Okay. He has done oh my God, he has done over 1,700 videos, and these videos are hours, 6, 7, 8 hours. And he is an absolute nobody. He actually he talks trash about me sometimes, and he gets all of 12 to 13 viewers or whatever the case may be. I don't think RBR is the one I'm talking about, but anyway, I figured I'd give him a few more subscribers there. Marcus with the $5 super chat says, Bun B put on the cape for Megan too. Who
I know that. Bun B is a Houston rapper. Used to be one half of UGK, I think. UGK. The Pimp C was his co-rapper. I think he passed away.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good. All right.
The song Big Impin' with Jay-Z back in the day.
Okay, very good. I like that. Big Impin'.
Yeah.
Let's come up with a Crimson Capsule vernacular for men who are in charge of females who give other men a good time. Let's go with listen,
it's the most creative show ever.
It's a pain in the butt, I know, but it's actually becoming kind of a thing, and I think that we can profit from it. Yep. I think we can
we're gonna get you guys this information no matter what, okay? Because this is
we're gonna give it to you. This is what it takes. This is what it takes. And I love that our audience is not stupid. The Drug Man, $4 says a promiscuous woman equals H03. Actually like that.
I like that.
Devin says H2HO. That's also a very good one. Okay, let's continue.
That meant a lot to me. My name is Daystar. I'm her youngest son. That meant a lot to me.
And by the way, I should not have said that. I shouldn't have made fun of his mother and father. I did some reading on Wikipedia. Daystar, I think, is a combination of his mother's name and his father's name. So, Tory Lanez, if you're seeing this, listen, no disrespect on your name. So I get it.
And all I was doing was giving a truthful album about what I'm going through. And I thought that people were going to be able to hear it and feel me, but they didn't do that. And I don't expect, everyone to just jump into my side, because at the end of the day, I didn't deserve that for the way that I handled this. There's been insensitive things that I've done and I apologize for, as far as me not talking to y'all, addressing y'all, coming to y'all sooner and saying, yo, bro, I ain't do this, my nigga. But y'all got to understand the reason why I wasn't able to do that. Once they made this an actual thing, I immediately called the lawyer and was just like, yo, what can I do here?
Right. And he was bugging out. He was like, what? And this dude wanted to speak out. He called up his lawyer, and he's about to tell us exactly what you said.
Times I was like, I'm going to just say the whole story right now. They need to know. No, you're not allowed to talk. I will handle that for you in the court of law. It gets to a standpoint where it's like, my bad. My child.
By the way, shout out to Kevin Samuels, who was in the building. He says, are those the same guys, RBR Network and RBR? I certainly hope. You know what? Now I know they're not the same, because Real Brother Radio, RBR Network, that dude is as broke as Obsidian. That dude has absolutely no money. And guys like him don't have the money to be super chatting $10. So RBR, I appreciate the super chat. I'm not going to put you in the same boat as those guys. Miami J says, hey, don't knock him for a small audience. I'm at 1,300 subs now. His content, garbage. Listen, Miami J, you have your hands on a lot of pies, dude. Miami J is a very, very, very busy guy. So we have The Scarlet Prescription by DC Johnson. That's actually pretty good. The Scarlet Prescription. I like that. Gyno Managers. That's a good one by Clue. Kyle Mitchell says OnlyFans Manager. Very, very good. I like that. Crimson Capsule, I've been using that for a while. Clue also says RBR Network is a troll. Yes, I knew that a year and a half ago. RBR says, wrong RBR. Is there a man I can talk to? Okay. All right. Just got to make sure. Sane Holiday, $5 says adult recreational facilitator. That the more syllables, the better. The more big adult recreational facilitator spending G's. Let's continue.
But look, it gets to a point where it's like, I'm sorry that right now, like, this is getting me a little riled up. It's just like, I'm a human being, bro. Like, I feel what you feel. I go through the things that y'all go through, bro. Anybody on this comment list, anybody watching this right now, if you have ever been at a place where somebody has, for the day, just been like, yo, you, or somebody just hit you with a bad comment and they're going at you, or any celebrities that have been at a place where niggas are just coming at you, imagine just going through that for 3 months straight, just and you know that you're a talkative that will say nah, but
yo,
it's all coming out now, man.
This dude probably had to disconnect his phone, fam. Like, that was the only way he was getting through this.
Yeah, like, and here's the thing, like, he used to post on Instagram like all the time, going live, especially during like the 19 DVOC.
91 DVOC. There we go.
during 91 DVOC, he was like going live, getting hundreds of thousands of live viewers, man. Him and I think Drake had the record for most Instagram live viewers at once, until Tekashi 6ix9ine came out and absolutely destroyed them. And he had like 2 million when he got out of jail. But that's a whole other thing. But the point is, guys, is that he's been like, this is a guy that's very talkative, very active on social media. That's a big reason why he has so much clout. As far as like the rap game goes, is he's actually one of the rappers that uses social media quite a bit and goes live and interacts with his audience. So a lot of rappers don't do that. 6ix9ine is one of the few that does it as well. So with that said, I know it was, man, they probably took his phone from him.
They had to. They had to take his phone and say, yo, hey, check this out. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna need your phone. Like, yeah. That phone. And Daystar is probably like, man, I know. Just take my phone, man.
They probably told him you are not allowed on Instagram. They probably took his phone. That he could not DM anybody, nothing, because a guy like him, people are gonna screenshot your messages, whatever they can.
Yep. Listen, he's a lot like me in this regard. This is why I don't read the comments anymore, because I can't help myself. Like, this is I have zero tolerance, and I cannot resist dealing with people who speak or act in such a way that they know that there are no consequences involved with their actions. There is a content creator that who is about to be in a hailstorm like he's never seen. And he has greatly underestimated us. He kept poking the bear. And now that we know exactly who he is doing his level best to tell us that he is not who we know he is. But even if he thinks he's managed to do that, listen, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. What has been set in motion is going to be put in motion regardless of what you say or do at this point. You have pushed it too far for too long, and you will pay. And this person knows exactly who we're talking about. Right now, we know he's afraid. He is absolutely afraid. And he should be. And I hope this guy makes the egregious mistake of thinking that we're doing just like him and just talking and hoping he'll stop. Okay? The train has left the station, my friend. There is nothing you can do to stop this. Listen, I am undefeated against real life trolls who try to exact real life consequences on me. I am about to be 2-0. So this person better enjoy it while it lasts, because things are coming down the pike. Here's another one. Danny Arnold, person in charge of managing pleasurable ladies. I like that. Prince Lavur, $2, says change CC writer to sitting on the bone throne. I love it. That's good. That's very good. Ozio says, imagine how much Johnny Depp went through fighting off Amber Heard's allegations. Right. Amber Heard is a beautiful white woman, man. I can't even, dude. I'm surprised that Johnny Depp has even survived this because Amber Heard, dude, she's a hard 9. She's a 9, and she's white, and she's a 9, and she's a white girl. I don't know how he survived that. Peace sleeve practitioner. I like A.J. Taylor, peace sleeve practitioner. Mic checking is. Oh, I like this. Fellatio is mic checking. Oh, I love that. Mic check.
Yeah.
Check 1, 2. Love it. Love it. This is all very, very good. This is very good. We're coming to the end here, and he's about to really drop some knowledge. Here we go.
You have your hands tied behind your back because legally you can't put anything else in jeopardy because it's not about Instagram at that point. It's about the well-being of my family and the mother of my child and my child. And at that point, I had to make a decision of whether or not this was more important or Instagram likes and understanding of this or whatever case was more important. Like, I've never been a person that's never...
Are you mic checking there, Myron? Mic check.
I've never been a person that's not expressed how he feels. There's things that I feel today, and I want y'all to understand something. Through every single thing that I'm going through the judge or not the.
Oh, I missed James Young super chat. Oh, this is good. This is good. The Crimson Capsule equals Dayquil. The Sapphire
Unawareness.
Yes.
The unawareness pill.
Okay, so we came up with Crimson Capsule. What's a synonym for capsule? The Sapphire something. We gotta, but that's good. I like that. Dayquil versus NyQuil. Like
The Sapphire tablet.
Yes, there it is. The Sapphire tablet, the Crimson Capsule and Sapphire tablet. That's perfect. I love it. I love it. That's good. That's very, very good. Clue says Coach Greg Adams has his own YT. Dude, I swear to God, that dude is as good as they come. He's as good as they come with this stuff. Nick Penn says, salute Donovan and Myron. Yes, I actually
So much, man.
Yeah, he's the man. Dude, Nick Penn actually ran into him at the Cherry Hill Mall a while back. So shout out to him. Eddie Kadame says Depp had the foresight to record most conversations between him and Amber.
Saved his life, man. Like
his life.
And I want to talk about the Brett Kavanaugh thing. I'm gonna wait till the end.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, like we live in a crazy world, baby.
We do. But this is what we have to do. And my smartphone, my Windows phone saved me from being in jail for 72 hours for domestic Duracell. We'll
Stay
get into
that story, guys. It's a very good story that every man needs to hear. So
it is absolutely crazy. All right, let's continue.
Judge, the accusations and the charges of 22 years and everything, I keep a smile on my face. Why? Because I know what I know. I know what I know. And at the end of the day, I'm not afraid of certain things because I gotta be strong for the people around me, dog. I have to be because they can't see me weak right now. They can't see that.
Sapphire Supplement, also a nomination. Very good. I like that.
I can't allow, my fans can't see me weak right now. I can't allow them to do that. And I'm not a weak person. I pray to God, this whole experience has gotten me so much closer to God and made me understand certain things about certain people and how they gonna operate when something happens. And it made me realize this is how people operate in this school. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is another thing I wanna address on, and I don't care who looks at me, how they look at me. Like, my point of this is not to make y'all start bashing her. It's not to make y'all start bashing her.
that's that 1,000% publicist told him to say, bro.
Doing this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hold up. Yeah. 100% his publicist telling him, listen, you have to be clear when you say, hey, this is not to bash her. This was clearly a publicist inspired statement, man.
Yeah, 1,000%. Tory, we ain't
Stupid.
We ain't, bro. We know what you're doing. And we got over 1,000 live viewers right now. Guys, please like the video. Subscribe to Donovan's channel. Subscribe to my channel, Unplug Lifestyle. And support the video, obviously. So comment, like, subscribe so that this can get pushed out to men so guys can learn these uncomfortable truths, quite frankly, guys. So, yeah, sorry, Donovan.
Holy moly. So, real quick, I'm going to read this super chat by Corrado. Devin actually put something in the chat that is very interesting. Corrado with the £5 says, that's why I moved out from living with my ex. The slander and fake talk is extremely damaging during arguments, especially when they threaten to call the popo.
Facts.
Which leads to this one. So Devin says, Alexa, start recording. Damn. Dude, I'm going to tell you what, man. I'm going to say a real command. Alexa, start recording. Yeah. I don't know about that.
Even Alexa, hey, like, what is he doing? Oh, what?
Oh my God!
I ain't recorded nothing, Donovan.
What that is. That no. I don't have a command like all of a sudden Alexa's like, wait a minute. I do not have a command like that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Exactly. By the way, we just got a Ring doorbell. We got a couple of cameras around the house so that when we go away, we can keep an eye on our pets. Yes, we caught one of our dogs eating the cat food. So we're gonna have to do something like that. But yes, you guys are on the right track. Danny Arnold says Sapphire Caplets. I like that. Very, very good. Let's go.
When she's bashed, I don't feel.
Yeah. About the Alex machine or whatever that we do. You don't think that if some poop went down in my household and Devin tried to get me hemmed up, they couldn't subpoena what was on my Echo Dot? Well, oh, I tried to get her to record, but now that I'm about to get hemmed up, now y'all can pull recordings. Exactly.
Good. It doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel like, bro, like this whole situation in itself is causing this girl mental trauma, bro. That's still somebody I care about. I do not want to see her like that, bro, ever. I don't want.
Yeah, man. Yep. Listen, and listen, man, I don't fault him for this. Like, listen, one thing Tory Lanez is doing here, man, he is following the advice of his publicist. Publicists make very good money for a reason, Myron. And listen, we can all sit here and say, oh my God, I can't believe this is what he's got to do. This is what he's got to do, man. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, like guys, you guys got to understand, hip hop right now, if I'm not mistaken, is the number one genre of music.
Yep.
It is the most widely consumed genre of music, and Tory is aware of this. He understands that his audience, for the most part, actually is not African American. It's Caucasians. It's all different kinds of races. So what he's got to do is when you make the kind of money he makes, and quite frankly, we're about to finish this 91 DVOC thing going on.
Yep.
What's going to happen is he's going to be able to do shows again. And like I told you guys earlier in the show, at the top of the show, most rappers make most of their money from shows. You know what I'm saying? Album sales, all that stuff, those days are done, guys. Like, no one's buying CDs no more. If anything, people will buy maybe one or two songs from you off iTunes. This is why singles are so big now versus albums. So show money is where rappers make most of their dough. So for him to be able to tour, sell out shows again, get in the public eye, and more importantly, be able to get on big ticket shows like Rolling Loud, etc., he's got to fix his image. So this is 100%, which is an excellent strategy. Don't get me wrong. Like, his publicist is excellent. Because what he's doing is he knows he's going to beat this case. So what he's going to do is he's going to take the moral high ground. He's going to put himself in the victim position. Like, she did this to me and I didn't do nothing to her and I still care about her. And what does that generate? Sympathy from
he doesn't have any ill will.
You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be like, he's basically playing the sob story right now. And it's excellent. This is what you want to do. You want to basically, And people are gonna, and here's the thing, people are gonna buy it because people know Meg Stallion is full of BS, man. So he's literally, teeing up the alley-oop. He's been setting this up for months. So I 1000% see the case is gonna get dropped. This is gonna get behind him. He is gonna take the moral high ground. Hey guys, I don't have a problem with her, etc. Because also Tory is not dumb. He knows a big part of his fan base is women. This guy makes a lot of like R&B type music as well. So he's got to appease to the female audience, because quite frankly, we all know women are 80% of the consumer base, and that applies to music as well. So his publicist is excellent, man. He better be paying him extra. This is some great acting too.
Yeah, right. And you can see chinks in the armor every once in a while, but then he says, "Oh man, I'm a little thirsty. Let me
drink that water." Yeah, facts.
Got to cool off. That's what that is. Red Pill Mike says single mom equals dispensable fluid depository. That is fantastic. That's very good. Clue says what he is doing is priming potential jurors. He is priming potential jurors not for the court of law. Oh no, he is priming potential jurors for the court, say it with me, boys and girls, of public opinion. And he's nailing it. Nobody who watches this video is going to have anything bad to say about Tory Lanez after this.
He beat this case already, guys. There's no jury. He's already beaten this. He's not going to make a video like this. There's probably some kind of plea agreement on the table already for him to be making a video like this. He probably signed it the day he made this video, man.
He might have, dude. Or they dropped the charges, one of the two.
Yeah.
So happens. All right.
I want to see her like that, bro. It is what it is. And if nobody looks at that, how they look at it, bro, it is what it is, dog. But I never want to see her weakened or her put down or her whatever, because then it goes against exactly what I'm talking about. How am I going to advocate for protecting black women if I'm doing something to bash her and bring her down? All I'm trying to let y'all know and understand here is just the facts. It's the facts of which y'all got to understand. I can't allow at some point, just like I was waiting for my court date so I can say something. And when I finally said it, or when the court date finally came, I finally am here and I'm being able to say what I have to say. And so if I'm coming off in any kind of way that's not the way that you want, I apologize, but I had to get this off my chest. And so it just is what it is. The truth will come to the light in the court of law. If y'all don't believe me, you don't believe me. It is what it is. If you do, you do. But I really just send prayers and love to her camp. I send prayers and love to the people around me. And I don't want us to be beefing. I don't want y'all to think that this is a Meg versus Tory thing. I'm not beefing with her. I'm not beefing with nobody. I don't have no, I'm chilling, bro. Like, with all due respect, I'm chilling. I want to get back to myself. I'm not gonna stop. When y'all see me at the club and I'm chilling, I'm partying. When y'all see me, if I come back with Teen Radio around Halloween, that's because I want to have fun. I want to still be the person I am. I want to still spread light.
Wow. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Superb job by Team Lanez.
Yeah.
Tory Lanez lieutenants absolutely did what they were paid very, very well to do. That was spectacular by Tory Lanez. So you said you were going to get into I'm going to tell my story about how I beat a domestic potential domestic Duracell charge. What were you going to talk about a little bit earlier?
I'll keep it brief because you guys need to hear the story that Donovan's about to tell you, how to protect yourself. But long story short, all I was going to say was this reminds me of the Brett Kavanaugh situation, which for the people that are unaware, a couple years ago, Brett Kavanaugh was going to become a Supreme Court justice. This woman comes out of California, a professor, and says, he raped me back in 1980 something, right? And quite frankly, there was no evidence of it. No one. There were no witnesses. Brett Kavanaugh, mind you, had clearance. He had been through several FBI background checks to get the position he was in. He was a Yale graduate, went to Yale Law School, an esteemed man. Okay, and he worked. He had a family. He worked his way up. And he became a Supreme Court justice. And right before he was about to be appointed, this woman comes forward and miraculously also releases a book, as well as, does a GoFundMe, makes a substantial amount of money, but no one seems to talk about that. Instead, they say, believe all females. And this is a dangerous precedent because the thing is, guys, is that this country was founded upon due process and guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. However, things have changed and become guilty until proven innocent when an accusation is made. And I say this to say, I say all this to say this, because a lot of guys want to sit here and, this is why women are evil. And like, they kind of use it as like, a fuel to the fire to have some type of anger towards females. And what I'm telling you guys is this is why you need to learn how to deal with women correctly. This is why you need to learn social calibration. This is why you need to learn how to not be crass. This is why you need to learn how to maneuver in certain social situations and read things and get the social calibration that women are naturally, women naturally have, that men have to basically learn.
There you go.
Because a lot of the times when guys get in trouble for this type of stuff, it comes from inexperience, okay? Why guys that are good with women don't get any of these accusations or anything like that? Well, you want to know why? Because they're not dumb and they know when a girl is interested versus when a girl isn't. So it behooves you guys, right? You have two choices. You can leave the marketplace completely. That's fine. I'm not going to knock anybody that wants to do that. Or for the guys out there that want to be in the marketplace, which 99% of you do, let's keep it real. You got to learn this, quite frankly. There's no way around it. And I'm not saying that to tell you guys, oh, yeah, you go hire a coach, whatever. I'm just telling you this is the climate that we're in. You are guilty until proven innocent, and you need to move accordingly and protect yourself, man. Because if you got Supreme Court judges that have went through several background checks, and this guy had to come and testify in front under oath in front of a bunch of people in a circus court.
Word of a woman. No one just said he forcibly gave her grapes.
Exactly. And he had to be under oath, guys. And for anyone that doesn't know, when you're under oath, the giving testimony, anything you say can be construed against you, and you can be criminally charged for a federal charge called 1001, which is basically lying under oath. So you guys gotta be smart and understand this is the climate that we live in, and it's a dangerous precedent. You know what I mean? And it's got to change, man. We can't have this because people want. This is the thing. Feminism fights for equality, right? Eminism, we'll call it, right? It fights for equality, right? However, by you saying believe all females, you're already saying that we're not equal because you're inferring, right? That eminism.
All they have to do is say something and they get believed.
Exactly. So this is the clown world that we're in right now, where because I don't think. No one is perfect, male or female. Both people lie. But for you to sit there and say, oh, believe all this, that's a dangerous precedent. Guess what? Everyone on Twitter wants to say that. So just move accordingly, guys. And Donovan's story, this is a good one.
So before I move on, I'm going to hit a couple of super chats. And before I do that, a lot of people would say, but Myron, you said that if men have experience with women, those guys aren't the one getting pound signed also me. What about Harvey Weinstein? Yeah, what about Harvey Weinstein? Harvey Weinstein was never good with women.
Fact.
Just because you sleep with a lot of women does not mean you're good with women. Harvey Weinstein simply leveraged his position and power to get bedroom fun from women. Harvey Weinstein didn't have game. He said, I'm Harvey Weinstein. You're a young and up-and-coming actress starlet. Let's go to the casting couch. Okay? Dude, Harvey Weinstein knew absolutely nothing about how to move, how social calibration works, how things look, how they land. That's why he's in the position that he's in, right?
And real quick, I want to add to that. You made an excellent point. This is why we tell you guys, do not deal with the opposite gender where you work or in some kind of professional professional environment where you can exercise leverage to get an outcome that otherwise probably will not happen. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're so big on get out there and talk to cold approach, etc. Because you're not going to have these weird situations in the workplace. Because let me tell you guys something, man. If something happens, right, in the workplace, there's a lot of social stigma that's going to come if people were to discover that you guys had some bedroom fun together. So the female is going to be more inclined to regret it. And when she starts to regret it, that's when you're in the danger zone, baby. You know what I'm saying? So you got to set yourself up to not do that. And more yet, powerful guys make the big mistake of trying to leverage their power against women. Don't do that, man.
You want to know what that is? You want to know what that is, Myron? That's called cheating the game. That's what that is. You can't cheat the game. You might be a CEO. You might be a movie producer. You might be a record producer. And you might leverage your power to get what all men want out of females. At some point, that bill is going to come due because you didn't do it. You didn't do it the right way. And the number one thing that you have to do to keep from getting pound sign also mead is to not make her feel like a, how do you call, I'll call it a tulls, whatever that is backwards. I'll have to come up with a better name. Don't make her feel like she's promiscuous, right?
Like a garden tool. Don't make her feel like a garden tool, guys.
If you make her feel like a garden tool, she's going to regret it. And if she regrets it, she's going to point the finger. These girls mess with Harvey Weinstein. They regretted it, but they had their careers. As soon as one girl probably didn't get the big break that he promised her, and all it took was her making that accusation, and then the dominoes started following. All of these millionaire actresses who had gotten their payday because of what Harvey Weinstein did for them, right? Oh, now all of a sudden, oh yeah, he cornered me, he did this. This just proves that just because you have bedroom fun with a lot of women does not mean you are good with women. Again, just because you're rich and you get a lot of women doesn't mean you're good with women. And again, and don't get me wrong. Rich guys get a lot of women, and they are every bit as susceptible. But this is why, and game is simply shorthand for understanding how to handle women in such a way that mitigates your risk of being screwed over by them. That's all it is. That's all this is. It's
and
not
what makes her like you, actually like you too. Like she's going to enjoy it and not feel weird and creepy, because if you have game, she's going to enjoy the interaction with you guys. This isn't any kind of manipulation or anything. It's
not about
value in a correct way. Sorry, go ahead, Donovan.
100%. Game is not about playing games. Game is just, it's just shorthand. That's all it is. We're going to have to come up with another word so that our detractors can't disingenuously say, well, game is a scam. We're going to have to come up with another word to describe game, because game is 4 letters. It's one word, one syllable. Neil Strauss came up with it back in 1999, and that seems to be the vernacular. We're gonna have to change the vernacular to give our detractors less. He's playing those ain't nobody playing mind games. Game is simply shorthand for understanding how women work and escalating things sexually on purpose to achieve a favorable outcome, while also mitigating your risk of something bad happening as a result of that conquest. But because game is 7, 8 syllables, huh?
No, I was going to say seduction is a 2-part process. These guys seem to think that it's only a 1 part. Like, oh, you're like, no, bro. It needs 2.
Listen, seduction and game is I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to blow your mind right here. Game and seduction, after you get the lay, what you do after is now what you do afterwards is far more important than anything you did before. Thanks. Okay, so you got her back to her apartment and you close the deal. This is where game comes into play. Yeah. Send her that morning after text. Dude, go downstairs while she's laying in your bed. Go downstairs the morning after, get her a Starbucks. Sit around and make her feel better about the fact that she gave it up after 27 minutes of you meeting her. Does that guarantee nothing will happen? Well, of course not. There are no guarantees. But what it does is it drastically reduces and mitigates your risk of something bad happening, like a false accusation. What you do after you sleep with her is every bit as important, if not more important, than what you did to sleep with her. That's what you guys have to understand. And when our detractors come after us, well, if you go out and sleep with a bunch of women, you can get # also me. Not if you understand and use game. So miss me with that nonsense.
And you're just a good human and understand like that when you deal with women, you got to reward the good and punish the bad. If a girl you bedroom fun, you don't punish her and make her feel awful about it. If anything, man, I'll have a girl over, whatever it may be. Like, we'll go get food after. We'll like talk. We'll like watch some TV, whatever. You don't want her to regret. You want buyer's remorse, guys. And a lot of you guys that aren't good with chicks are dumb and be like, get out. Like, I'm an alpha.
Yeah, you want to go to listen. You want to go to your little Crimson Capsule forums. I don't care how hot she is. I kick her right after I bust. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Did you tell them about the subpoena on your phone that the cops sent you the next day? Then guys will say, well, getting her Starbucks and all that is simping. Okay, let me ask you something, fam. Do you want to do something that you describe as simping to avoid a false grapevine accusation? Or do you want to pay the $5 and maybe an hour and a half to make sure you don't get put in the handcuffs? Yeah, I didn't think so. Miss me with that nonsense, man. This is just gives guys excuses to give up. Don't want to mess with women. It's too risky. If you mess with women, it's simping. Listen, you guys are pathetic. I'm not trying to hear it.
Can't win.
Cuban libertarian, $2, says, hey, Google, record voice note. I like that. Corrado with the £5 super chat says facts. And this is why you get into your feelings. If he kept composure, he wouldn't be in this situation and go through this. If you can't just leave. Now, listen, man, we all have to learn sometime, right? And there are some Crimson Capsule content creators who shall remain nameless, who talk to our audiences as though they're already supposed to know how to be traditionally masculine, right? We have content creators who just want to say, well, you just have to be masculine, you just have to be a man, and you just have to know how to know this stuff. No. Men are born, men are made, women are born. Nobody comes out the womb knowing how to be a man. And if we know anything about anything, there is a serious masculinity crisis. Dude, my dad was around, but he was as soft as baby poop. He didn't teach me anything. I had to learn my lessons the hard way, as do most people. So, Corrado, listen, I agree. He should have kept his composure. He could have handled it differently, but this dude is 28 years old, right?
Yeah.
Probably had a weak father growing up. These are lessons that have to be learned. I'm not going to punish a guy for something that he was never taught, right? If you grew up with a strong father, traditionally masculine strong father, and you're still making these mistakes, that's a you problem. But I'm not going to blame any man who grew up with a single mother and say, well, if you don't know how to be a man, that's a you problem. No, that's not a you problem. But if you don't adjust, if you don't seek out the kind of content that can help you with that, then it becomes a you problem. But I'm not gonna berate my audience for already knowing what they were never taught, right? I'm not gonna berate my audience and say, well, you should already know how to act like this when the world around you tells you that acting like this is toxically masculine. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. C-Dub with the $20 super chat says, girl power advocates do not want equality. They want superiority. All benefits, no responsibility. Justice Kavanaugh's accuser made enough false statements to earn life in prison. Instead, she got paid and got a book deal.
Right.
And therein lies the problem. These false accusations are incentivized. That's what this isn't. They're incentivized. Until women start getting put in prison or getting arrested for lying on men, they're going to continue to lie on men. At some point, we got to stop blaming women. At some point, we got to start blaming people. Say, we need this. No, we need to get on these law enforcement agencies for making these arrests. I agree with that. Quarantino, $5, says, I always treat women to a great time, so there's no doubt on if our intercourse was consensual. How I take the cat if we eat sushi after.
Facts.
And here's the thing. This is why you have to protect yourself, right? So, Myron, you said that you go and get something to eat and all that. If the poop was ever to hit the fan and she points the finger at you for a false grapevine accusation,
you look crazy.
Yeah, you can be like, yo, check the camera. Check the camera. There we are at the restaurant having a good time. Does that look like someone who forcibly gave somebody a grapevine? Does it really? And then it's a wrap. Then it's a wrap.
Here's the dark side too. Like I always tell guys, you need to pay for dates and go, oh, Myron, you slipping. This is why, man. This is the dark side that I didn't want to tell you guys.
Here we go.
You need to pay for the date, not only to control the frame, but also to show if she's still hanging out with you and you're paying. What does that say?
There you go.
And she's allowing you to pay. What does that say? All these things you guys got to understand sets you up in a position to protect yourself. Now, with that said, is it going to happen if you know what you're doing and the girl actually likes you, showing you intent? No, but you got to protect yourself anyway, man. So you pay for everything. Guess what? You got all the transactions on your card, baby. You know what I'm saying? If anything were to happen. So it sucks, but this is the world that we live in, man. So use it to your advantage. Cameras everywhere. There's phones. There's obviously credit cards, digital payments for things where it's easily traceable. That's what it is, man.
But Donovan, you say never feed her before you bleep her. If you have game, if you can escalate sexually without having to lead with your wallet and you get the booty, that's when you take her out. See, here is the ultimate Crimson Capsule meetup. You meet up for a couple of drinks. That doesn't cost you anything. Just pay for the drinks. It ain't no big freaking deal. Meet up for coffee. Get her back to your place. You pound her out. Hey, you know what? Let's go get some Chinese or let's go get some sushi. Okay, right? Then when you send her that morning after text, hey, had a great time. We should definitely do this again. By the way, that guy at the sushi place with the lazy eye, I think he wants you. You might want to get his phone number. LOL, kissy face emoji, heart emoji. You know what all of that is? That's called exoneration, my friends. And all it cost you was a cup of coffee before the lay, maybe some sushi afterwards, and a few well-placed texts after it happened. This is good. The neg one says poop hits the fan, fecal fanning. So I'm going to end the show with this. And this is a story about how I was falsely accused of domestic Duracell. And this is exactly why it is important to record everything. Okay? Record everything, guys, especially if you get her back to your place. Dude, Devin bought us a couple of $25 cameras. They're running 24/7. We get pictures and videos, everything that happens in every room, everything is on a recording. Okay? So if you get back to your place and you have bedroom fun on the couch or whatever, and she accuses you of forcibly giving her a grapevine, there you go, officers. Does that look like I forced anything? Oh, Oh, by the way, here's a selfie of us at the sushi place right afterwards. Does that look like somebody who forcibly gave somebody a grapevine? So, long story short, here's what happened. So I've been seeing this girl on and off for about 6 months. The last 2 months we were seeing each other pretty regularly. And so we would see each other every weekend. We never had sex during the week. And dude, it was great fun. It was absolutely great fun. We didn't have to go anywhere. Sometimes we'd order in. Dude, she actually made jalapeno poppers at my place. It was a good time. Well, I had added 2 new girls to my roster. And so what I was going to do is I was going to sort of gently just sort of fade out of her life, just little by little. So what I did, here's what I was going to do. I texted her. I said, hey, I'll use the word stay. I was like, hey, Stacy, it's Donovan. Listen, I've gotten behind on some projects. I'm going to have to take a rain check for this week, but we will definitely get up next weekend. Now, my plan was to just not have sex with her that weekend, have sex with her the weekend after, then kind of slowly fade out of her life. That was the plan. And the reason why I was going to do that is because girls don't take rejection easily. You can't just ghost them, right? Otherwise, they go absolutely crazy if she actually likes you. And Stacy absolutely did. And her name was Tracy. I'll just keep it real. Tracy really liked me. She liked me a lot. And she worked crazy hours. That's why we couldn't have sex on the weekdays, or at least that's what she told me. So who knows? Who knows what the hell she did on weekdays? So what she did is after I sent her that text, she's blown up my phone. She's like, oh my God, what's wrong? Do you not like having sex with me? Is it my body? Is it like, and I'm like, no, like everything is fine. I just need to take this weekend off to get to get caught up on some projects. Of course, I was lying, but that was the story I gave her. She doesn't know. So she calls me up. So maybe 15, 20 minutes goes by. She calls me up and tells me, Donovan, I'm pregnant. Okay. Now, this wasn't the first time I had a girl call me up and tell me she was pregnant. So I immediately just go into autopilot. I said, all right, Tracy, stay right where you are. I'm coming over, which is exactly what she wanted. So I go to the CVS and I bought 2 pregnancy tests, $30 each, Clear Blue Easy. Do not get a pregnancy test at the dollar store, guys. Spend the money to be absolutely sure. Now, I had never hit it raw with Tracy, ever. I was very, very careful, never let her handle my condoms. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I wasn't at least a little bit concerned because, listen, slip-ups can and do happen from time to time, right? Like, this is how this goes. So I said, all right. So I drive over to her place. I walk right in. She looked very happy to see me. I didn't touch her. I held up the pregnancy test right in front of her. I said, go to the bathroom and take this test right now. Dude, she was like a deer in the headlights. But she had to comply because if she didn't, her whole plan blows right up. So she goes to the bathroom, and I watched the urine come from her lady parts right onto the stick. As clear as day, negative, right? So at that point, I said, no. And at that point, she says, well, I was very calm. I said, Tracy, stay where you are. You're going to take another test. She's like, I just peed. I said, you're going to stay right there. You're going to take another pregnancy test. She's like, why are you doing this? Then I raised my voice. I said, stay there until you piss. You're going to take that second pregnancy test. So for about 15 minutes, we're just standing there in awkward silence. Every time she tried to speak, I just, no. Don't say a word unless I see you piss a plus sign. 15, 20 minutes later, she pees on the stick. It's negative. So at that point, I don't even say it's been real. I turn around and I'm out the door. The whole time she's like, please, Donovan, don't leave. I love you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God. So as I get towards her door, I hear her walk into the kitchen and I hear her, and I didn't know she was on the phone. She said, yes, I would like to report domestic Duracell. At that point, I knew I couldn't leave. The reason I couldn't leave is that I was a black man. Number one, I was a black man. Number two, she was a white girl. If she calls the cops and says, Donovan, domestic Duracell, he Duracelled me, then guess what? If I leave, I'm automatically guilty because they think I'm trying to get up out of there, right? And that's just how that was. Listen, I've been in some crazy situations before, never like that. I don't know, dude. And inside I was freaking out. I didn't let her see I was freaking out, but inside I was absolutely inside I was freaking out. So I went over and sat on her couch, and I don't know why, this must have just been, I was on autopilot. I can barely remember this. I took up my Windows phone, and it's funny because I just downloaded an audio recording app, because when I was out in the field, what I was doing is I was recording my interactions with girls. and like I was recording my interactions with girls, and just to kind of see like, okay, where am I going wrong? And by the way, you have to do this with your craft, guys. If you want to get good at something, record yourself. And dude, I was probably doing this for like maybe 3 or 4 days, and it was really helping. I was like, oh, you know what? When I hit on Diana, there was a little bit of hesitation there. I failed this poop test here. But when I hit on, when I hit on Kimberly, I got her phone number because of X, Y, and Z. It really, really helped. Well, what I did is I broke out my phone. I hit the audio recording device, and I didn't place it as though I'm recording. I just took it out and just kind of, put it on the table. So she says, so I said to her, I said, look, Tracy, I said, why are you lying? Why did you call the cops and lie to them? Why did you just call the cops? And I made sure that I was very, very clear. I said, why did you just call the cops and lie to them and tell them that I slapped and choked you? This girl was, and dude, she had no idea what was happening. She took the bait right there. She says, it's because I'm tired of all this BS. I didn't want to lose you in my life. I freaked out. I thought I was never going to see you again. I didn't know what to do. And so I did the first thing I could think of to try to get you to stay. I said, that's it? Now, of course, inside I'm seething because this girl is, now that my life is in this girl's hands. I just kind of said, that was it? She says, well, yeah, that was it. I said, well, Tracy, why didn't you say so? If you had told me that you didn't want to lose me in your life, that totally would have made a difference. She's like, really? I'm like, dude, you just called the cops and lied on me. All you had to do was tell me that you didn't want to lose me in your life. And of course I lied to her. I said, I just had to get some projects done, but I didn't have a problem with you coming to my house, maybe, watching a movie, Netflix. And I didn't say Netflix and chill wasn't a thing at that point. You could have come over and, hung around while I was working on my project. And she's like, yeah, we could totally do that. I was like, all right, cool. So right after, so we sort of converse a little bit, right? And I don't know how much time went by, but right when we were sort of calming things down a little bit, the door, and it was not a knock on the door. It was a bang on the door. Immediately, Tracy goes white. Her eyes wide as saucers. She's like, oh, she forgot she called the cops. She forgot that she called the cops. And so I sort of gestured toward the door. I get the door. And she's like, no. I was like, dude, get the door. She says, what if we don't answer the door? She's like, I'll just tell them it's all a big misunderstanding. I said, you need to go and answer the door. They pound again because again, they think a big black man is in here assaulting a poor little white girl. And listen, I've been on the other end of cop knocks. I know exactly what they sound like. She says, we just won't answer. I'll just tell them it's a big misunderstanding. Then I said to her, Tracy, you need to let them in or they're going to let themselves in. Like that's what needs to happen. So she slowly goes over and she answers the door. And there were two cops. There are these big burly dudes, right? Now, obviously, they're not when there's domestic Duracell going on. They don't send female cops. They don't send small cops. No, these were two 6'3", 6'4", probably ex-military black ops, whatever. Basically enough to, kick me around if I tried to do anything stupid, right?
An arrest has to always be made too, guys. And in the West, in the United States, typically, like an arrest always has to be made for most states in the U.S. So, like that's why they send guys like that. Sorry, Donovan.
Right. No, listen. Listen, if I'm dispatching police officers to that situation, I'm not going to send guys who are 5'8", 5'9". I'm sending the biggest guys there were. Dude, these guys were, they're not Brock Lesnar huge, but they were both larger than I was. And it was obvious why they were there. I didn't make any sudden moves. I just sat there on the couch as calmly and as coolly as possible, because if I start yelling and calling her a liar and this is BS, that automatically makes me look bad. I'm a large black tattooed man. I can't show any aggression, or that aggression is going to be construed by the cops as a threat. And if they have to subdue me, they're taking me in regardless. So I said, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to be totally cool. So of course they go to her first. They're like, okay, what was her last name? I forgot what her last. Okay, Mrs. Andrews, or whatever her last name was. Okay, Miss Andrews, tell us what had happened. And so and it was funny because they asked her these questions. They were very leading questions. They asked her these questions in such a way that automatically made me sound guilty. Even still, Her story, her story sounded terrible. Like, it would have been very hard to believe her, but she had to stick with what she told the operator was, I slapped her and choked her. That's what she had to stick with. And when she told the story play by play, dude, you could tell she was lying, right? They probably interviewed her for 15 minutes. Like, they kept asking. I was like, dude, are these guys trying to get me convicted? And at that point, I was like, are they going to allow me to tell my side of the story? Like, honestly, dude, Myron, I thought I was going to jail. I thought I was going to jail. Then I was like, okay, all right.
It's all the time, all over the U.S. too, is a sad part. You know, this happens a lot.
This was the reality. I knew that I was probably not going home that night. I was going to spend 72 hours in Clark County lockup. When all of that was finally done, they then turned their attention toward me. They said, okay, Mr. Sharpe, what do you have to say about this? What side, what's your side of the story? I said, officers, I showed them my hands because, again, I'm a black man. They're white cops. I said, I'm going to reach for my phone. Is that okay? They said, yep, that's okay. So I reached for my phone. I actually reached my left hand. I kept my right hand up and I opened the app and I was praying to every God I could. Dude, I was praying to God, Allah. Dude, I was praying to them all. I was praying to Buddha. It was incredible. So I hit the play button, and to my great relief, our conversation rang out as clear as a bell. Even the part where they banged on the door to come in, I would record it all the way up to that point. Even the part where they're like, hey, I'll just tell them it's just a big misunderstanding. They heard everything, including me asking her, why did you just call the cops and lie to them and told them that I slapped you and choked you? And she said, because I'm tired of all this BS and I didn't want to lose you in my life, right? And it's funny because when I started playing the recording, Tracy tried to interrupt. One of the cops just said, shh. That's all that she tried 3-4 times. He kept saying, shh. At the end of the recording, one of the officers went over there, says, Miss Andrews, we are placing you under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Dude, she's crying her eyes out. She's like, you gotta believe me. He trapped me. He entangled me. He threatened me. Like he told me about the recording. Like, that's all there was to it. So they let her outside, and of course she keeps crying. One of the officers stayed back. He says, listen, man, do you want to press charges against Miss Andrews? I was like, no, dude, I don't want to have anything to do with her. I just said no. I just want to get the hell out of there. Because if I press charges against her, now I got to show up to court. And then I got to face her again. And then she probably tries to talk to me again. He says, listen, we can do a restraining order if you want. I was like, listen, I want nothing to do with any of this. I just want to go home. And he says to me, if more guys did what you did, we'd probably be locking up a lot less men. The moral of the story is record everything, guys. Dude, record the audio, record the video, record everything. Because what you have to understand, this is something very important that you have to understand. The burden of proof in a court of law is guilty beyond all reasonable doubt. Okay? That's what it is. The burden of proof in the court of public opinion is actually, there is no burden of proof. Yeah. It's quite literally just believing the woman. That's all there is to it. If the woman says something is true, then it's automatically true. You don't need evidence. You don't need nothing. A la the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez situation. This is why I tell you guys, record everything. Dude, wear a body cam. Put cameras all around your house. Dude, record everything, because these girls out here, they don't care about you. If they feel like you've slighted them in some way, if they feel like they got done dirty with you, and Myron says this all the time, girls don't like to take L's. If a girl gives you more peace leave than you have given her resources and you cut her off, if she ends up in the red with you, she's feeling some type of way. If she gets more out of you than you get out of her, she's not going to do anything. But if you manage to sleep with her the first night and then kick her to the curb and she didn't even get a cup of coffee, oh yeah, now she's got that regret. Now she's got that remorse, and that's when she makes those false accusations.
Yeah, man, guys. I mean, man, I don't think there's a better way to end that. Just understand that this is the climate that we're in. You got to be smart. You got to protect yourself. You got to understand that, just like Donovan said, in the court of public opinion, when it comes to a female making an accusation against a man, people are always going to side with her first. It's just the reality of living in a Western world, in a Western country. If you live in Canada, United States, Spain, any first world country, where feminism is very strong, you're going to be guilty until proven innocent if the accusation is coming from a woman and you're a man. Understand that, adapt accordingly. Your phone is your friend. And quite frankly, you got to do that type of thing nowadays to protect yourself. And hopefully more guys do this. Chicks catch on and they realize, oh, there's consequences, and they start getting arrested for doing these things. Because quite frankly, they do this because they know that nothing is going to happen if they were to get caught. I mean, luckily here, Donovan turned his phone on, man. But if he didn't turn it on, guys, it would be a different. You might not know Donovan Sharpe as he is today, is what I'm trying to say. So be smart, guys.
Listen, my attorney once told me, and this was the last thing I was in a really, really bad situation back at the end of 2015. I could have gone to prison for a long time. And my attorney, I don't know how he did this, man. He got me out of that situation clean. And he said to me, listen, man, he said, I like you. He says, listen, dude, you've done a lot of crazy things. I don't think you're a bad guy. He says, I think you're a guy that's been through a lot in life. I think you've got some issues that you need to work out. He says, but you got to get this temper under control, because if you pound another guy's face in like that, there's nothing I can do for you, man. He said, at this point, dude, he said, you have the devil's own luck, and that's not the kind of luck you want to have. And that's really what woke me up. So then I got an anger management counselor, moved to Reno, and now I'm a free man. The point is that you have to record everything, because if you don't, and one last thing here, in criminal court, the burden of proof is guilt beyond all reasonable doubt. In civil court, the burden of proof is the preponderance of the evidence,
which is much less, guys. Which is much less.
Which means that the court has to find that it is more likely than not that you committed the crime. This is why OJ was acquitted in criminal court, but was found guilty in civil court to the tune of $33 million, which of course they put a judgment on him for, because the burden of proof is much lower. So that's the way you have to operate. You can't say, but officer, what about my rights? I'm innocent till proven guilty beyond all reasonable doubt. The first part of that process, that's not the standard of proof they're looking for. They're looking for the preponderance of the evidence. Based on what we see right now, does it appear that it is more likely than not that you committed said crime? Dude, 11 times out of 10, they're going to tell you yes, and they're taking you to jail. There was no evidence that I Duracelled this girl. There were no marks on her neck. There was no marks on her face, no nothing. If not for my phone, I'd have gone to jail. Real talk. No bruises, no nothing. Just her word would have got me put in jail.
Probable cause, man. It's probable cause, which is very little. It's nothing. Like, they could show up. She can
cause.
Yeah, she can punch herself in the face a couple of times, get a lump, whatever it may be, as they're showing up. And if they see marks on her, you're taking it. You're going to jail, man. And I've seen it. There was a video actually a guy put out. He was driving with his girl. She jumped out the car. And thankfully he recorded it. And she tried to say, you threw me out. And he was like, nope, I was recording that. You're dumb. Bye. You know what I mean? But guys, women don't take L's, man. They really don't. No. And they will put you in jail to prove a point sometimes, because they understand that that's where their power lies. Women know innately that they can take that provider and that protector men to come and congregate to get you in trouble in some way, whether you get assaulted by white knights or police officers or whatever it is. You got to record to protect yourself, because you're always going to be public enemy number one, man. And I didn't mean to cut you down. I just want to say this
is a very good point. And listen, I'll actually tell you guys this. I think a lot of you guys remember this. Someone called the cops on me right here. I think it was like a month and a half, and the timeline might be off, but it was relatively recently. Dude, I was airing Devin out because of some shit. It's something that she said or did. And it's probably 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. And I'm raising holy hell. And someone, I guess, heard and called the cops. Okay. The Philadelphia Police Department comes to our apartment. 3 police officers, count them, 3 police officers come to my place. Somebody called the cops. Hey, we think something's going on over here. I go to the door. The cops are like, somebody is reporting, blah, 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 blah. What do? They immediately separate me and Devin. They took Devin outside first. They were out there with her for maybe 10, 15 minutes, right? Then they took me out there. I was calm. I was cool. I was collected. I was completely truthful. I said, listen, we had a disagreement about X, Y, and Z, and I raised my voice. Didn't lay a finger on her. Didn't threaten her. I said, didn't do any of that stuff. And dude, they all believe me. You want to know why? Because when Devin was out there, she's like, look, I'm not afraid. There's no marks on me. They kept asking her, are you afraid? She's like, no, I'm not afraid. He's a big teddy bear. He's all piss and wind. He's all talking, blah, 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 blah. They left us alone and wished us a good day, right? But if Devin could have absolutely got me put in jail if she wanted to, marks or not, all she had to do was say, they asked her, are you afraid? If the answer is yes, I'm sitting in Philadelphia County. Like, straight up. Like, that's how that goes. Thankfully, Devin did the right thing, and that didn't happen. But in the future, who knows? Maybe she doesn't make maybe she didn't make the same decision. So maybe I got to stop raising my voice. Quarantino, $5 says, I learned from guys like Derek Jeter. He gave all his chicks gift baskets with iPads after he hit, but dudes will still call him simp. Derek Jeter wasn't simping. Derek Jeter, that was self-preservation, my friends. Dude, Derek Jeter was ahead of the game. Derek Jeter was ahead of the game.
He's got a lot to lose, especially guys like that.
And guess what? For all of the he had a high-class harem. He smashed Mariah Carey, Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel. He smashed them all. Not one accusation. Not one. Not a one. I just missed a super chat. Yes, for motivation with the £2 super chat. Says, you're saving young men's lives here. Thanks, guys. Absolutely. We appreciate that. Clue. $5 says their job is to remove the threat. The man is always the threat.
Facts.
Real effing talk. Good stuff. Yeah, that night absolutely did suck. But well, the night sucked for our kitchen table, which I destroyed, but we replaced it. That's probably why they called the cops, because they dude, I destroyed our kitchen table. I destroyed the kitchen table. So we had to get another kitchen table, and that was at my expense. So it is what it is. Myron, listen, fantastic show. I think we got the point across. If Tory Lanez had the presence of mind to get one of his homeboys, his entourage, get out your phones and record everything right now. Okay. No charges get pressed. But all Megan Thee Stallion had to do was say he slung lead at me. Even though there's no evidence to suggest or substantiate her claims, he is still facing indictment.
Yep. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy world we're in, guys. Be smart and protect yourselves, man.
No, I agree. Let me think. Oh, tell the people where to find you.
Oh, guys, if you like the content, get on my YouTube channel, Unplugged Lifestyle, patreon.com/freshfit, where me and my buddy Fresh Prince CEO, we teach you guys how to get girls in basically in the hardest city ever, Miami, Florida. In the West, obviously, we teach you guys how to, be attractive, social media game, running game basically in 2020, man, with the internet, online dating, all that other stuff. Patreon.com/freshfit, and then subscribe to my YouTube, Unplugged Lifestyle. I give fitness and dating advice both, and we have the Fresh and Fit podcast there. So Donovan, thank you so much. This was a great show, man. I think the people are gonna love this one.
It really, really was. Look, man, I remember when I made the announcement to my patrons, I said, listen, man, there's a content creator that I'm going to align myself with, because I've had my eye on this guy for a long time. We jive on so many levels. We both agree on the fundamentals, and a lot of people knew it was you. A lot of people had to.
Thank you. Took a chance to come in. Real quick, I want to say this real fast, man. You guys have seen my new studio that I got building in the penthouse over there in Miami. A big part of that, guys, was inspired by Donovan Sharpe. I went and saw this guy's studio setup. I see how he has all this stuff. When you guys say, Byron, you got really good content quality, what's going up? Like, it's inspired by Donovan Sharpe, man. Nobody works harder than this guy. He really invests a lot of money into putting this stuff behind the scenes for you guys, man. So, I got to say thank you to Donovan right now for taking a chance on me, believing in me, and then basically motivating me, man, to do my own thing too. So I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And like I said, there was no luck involved, right? I didn't take a chance on Myron. Myron's good. That's all there is to it. I watched it for a while. I said, okay, yeah, this guy is definitely the real deal. And every one of these shows, every one of them are solid gold. So I think this is an alliance that's definitely going to be fruitful for all involved. Last thing, guys, I'm thinking about moving my show to a little bit later on in the evening. I'm kicking around the idea of maybe moving it to 6:30, maybe to 7:30. I'm going to put it to a vote on Patreon and on YouTube. I'm going to put it to a vote. I'm going to give you guys a number of times. Of course, given I don't step on any other content creator shows, the reason I want to move it to a later time is because I want to be able to do my show and then be done. I want to be able to, because I work hard all the time. And after my show at 3:30, I still have energy. And I'm like, okay, I want to do more. I want to record this. I need to script that. I need to kick this idea. But if I get all of that done during the day and then it all culminates in a night show, then I can literally just turn off the lights and leave the studio for the rest of the night. Not only that, I think being in that time slot, I could probably get a few more eyeballs. So I'm going to put it to a vote here. I'm going to put it to a vote here on YouTube and Patreon. I'm thinking 6:30 or 7:30. I don't know that there's much of a difference. Maybe I'll come somewhere in the middle at 7, and then maybe end the show at 8, 8:30. So I'm not on too late. Again, Myron, hell of a show, man. That is going to do it for Weights and Dates. We will see you guys now. Weights and Dates is normally on Friday evenings. So we're going to see you guys next Friday evening at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, and Tuesdays are bowling league nights. So I might actually have to amend something for Tuesdays. Either way, we'll come up with something. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for all of the support, all of the super chats. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys next